Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained. With WrestleMania 2 now in the books, the WWF powered forward like a runaway locomotive despite the lack of in-ring quality on display during the pay-per-view. Bigger means better. The motto that Vince McMahon perpetually holds at the forefront of his mind when booking was never more true than on the road to WrestleMania 3. The scheduled main event for the third edition of the future granddaddy of them all developed over a series of Piper's Pits in early 1987. World Wrestling Federation champion Hulk Hogan reached the impressive landmark of holding the promotion's top title for 3 years in January of that year and was awarded a trophy by acting president Jack Tunney. During this segment, Andre the Giant came out to congratulate his longtime friend on his achievement, stating, "3 years to be a champion, it's a long time." The following week, Andre the Giant was presented with a similar trophy for having gone undefeated for 15 years, and much like the Giant had the previous week, Hogan came out to pass on his congratulations. The key difference between the two editions of Piper's talk show was that the WWF champion, whether intentionally or otherwise, leveraged the spotlight to shine squarely upon him and him alone. After a strong hint by Jesse Ventura that he knew something of importance about the Giant, the next time Hulk and Andre appeared on Piper's Pit, the eighth wonder of the world was accompanied by his long-term adversary, Bobby Heenan. To the shock of many, the Brain was officially confirmed as being the new manager of the Giant going forward, and in the process, Andre had sold his soul. A heartbroken Hogan listened to Andre declare he would be challenging for the WWF title at WrestleMania 3 and was visibly shaken when his former friend ripped the Immortal shirt and crucifix necklace in one fell swoop. With a trickle of blood running down his chest, Hogan loudly accepted. The irresistible force versus the immovable object was confirmed for the main event. Whilst the driving force at the box office was the monumental showdown between former friends, it was buoyed further by arguably one of the best matches to ever grace a WrestleMania ring. Macho Man Randy Savage looked to defend his Intercontinental title against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in what many fans and critics would herald as the best WrestleMania match of all time. Whilst public perception may now have changed somewhat, it is still unquestionably an enthralling encounter between two of the absolute best of their generation. If WrestleMania 1 put the WWF on the radar of the general public and got people talking, WrestleMania 3 cemented the annual event as a pay-per-view extravaganza and one that could achieve this status without the assistance of celebrity involvement. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast. We are at episode number 14 and Holly, we are back on the March Through The Manias.
Aren't we just?
We are now at WrestleMania 3 and I was excited for this one.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I knew WrestleMania 2 was a bit of a dud. I think that's fair to say.
That's kind.
That was your takeaway from the event as well, I assume.
Yes.
But I knew that WrestleMania 3 had a couple moments in here that were notable for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
And I felt like WrestleMania 3, as it's kind of discussed in the monologue at the beginning of the show, it felt big time.
It did.
It felt like a different animal to the first WrestleMania and the second WrestleMania. Not just because... Well, actually, even if you just look at the size of the arena and the scale of the people...
It looks different, doesn't it?
It looks surreal at points. I make a couple of notes as we go through the broadcast and say that it almost looks like people have been superimposed in the background. But, yeah, I mean, it's very impressive in terms of scale.
Yeah.
Were there any moments going into the show, because I know you don't watch old stuff in general, was there anything from WrestleMania 3 that when you saw it happen you went, oh, I've seen an image of this before?
I feel like there is, but I feel like it's very near the end.
Yep.
One of the clips I've definitely seen. I actually don't think anything else, I'll be honest. I probably avoided, not intentionally, but I've probably just not... My brain hasn't grasped where it's from, and I haven't linked them.
Well, the moment towards the end used to be in the WWE opening for a long time, and obviously we'll mention it when we get to it. There's one other post-match celebration that I've definitely seen in footage elsewhere.
Okay. When we get to it, I'm sure I'll go, of course it's that.
Or I'll point it out and go, this was it. So, WrestleMania 3 took place on the 29th of March 1987. The venue was the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. The attendance, which is going to be the real attendance is what I'm going to give you, is 78,000. WWF claimed 93,173, which would have been a record for an indoor live event. So WWE just wanted to have that record.
Oh, okay.
So the way that Vince McMahon and the WWF operated, so WrestleMania 1 was the first of its kind.
Yes.
WrestleMania 2, they went, what can we do to make it bigger? Do it in 3 venues across the country.
Yeah.
Right, WrestleMania 3, what's the next thing that we want to break? Oh, the record in indoor attendance for a live event. It wasn't.
Oh.
The actual indoor record attendance, I think, is held in the States, but it was by a Pope visit.
Oh.
So that is actually the record indoor attendance.
So how do they get away with saying there's 94 or whatever thousand people when actually there's 70 odd?
I think, well, arrogance plays a part of it, but I
Okay.
think also if you look at the size of the arena, who's there counting?
Right, yeah, fair.
If you show me a mass of people...
to be fair, they said 90 and I was like, believable, fine.
Yeah. Exactly,
Okay.
that's what I mean. When you get to that level,
Yeah.
it's hard to argue. But
Okay.
yeah, by all accounts,
So
it's
there's no one
78,000.
standing there with a counter like when you go into a club, is there going?
Exactly,
Yeah.
the turnstiles. Well, then again, we learned at Wembley that they have that.
They
so,
do that. But I suppose that's technology moving on, I guess.
But the real number is very much somewhere around the 78,000, which is still very,
massive,
very impressive, especially when we see what happens with upcoming WrestleMania events that we go to in terms of venue size.
Okay.
We know what WrestleMania becomes in terms of how many people they can get there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certainly a lull period, and they try and go through... Well, the next couple actually take place in the same venue.
Okay,
because there's an agreement that's struck up with the person that is the proprietor of the venue. And I won't go into that.
No, we'll get there when we get there.
That'll be fun.
Oh, good.
But because they couldn't get the same number of people as they could for this particular WrestleMania, because the rock and wrestling boom that had started in 1985 was tapering off a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So it had more eyes than it did prior to that, but it wasn't as big.
Right.
So we'll see in WrestleMania 3, even though they had celebrities there,
it was a lot less than it had been before.
Even less than 2, certainly less than 1.
Yeah.
And the calibre of them, some of them, like we see Alice Cooper in the show,
great.
that's fine.
Yeah, fine.
I've got some comments on him.
Yep, I thought you might.
Yeah. But they didn't have the heavy reliance upon them.
They weren't going
to move tickets.
Yeah.
So it shows that they could kind of do it on their own.
More of a reliance back on the wrestling event rather than...
Which is, of course,
Great.
what they want.
Yeah.
By all means, get extra eyes in, but if the wrestling itself doesn't draw anything, you've not really achieved your goal.
Yep.
Because the amount they'd be paying out for celebrities, you couldn't do that long term.
No.
Because you're not making enough money to sustain that.
No.
But anyway, talking of the numbers of what they did for the show, I think in ticket sales it was $1.6 million.
Wow.
Very good. And the pay-per-view revenue was in the region of $10.3 million.
Jeez.
So
nice.
Tidy event.
Tidy sum, that.
Tidy sum, yeah, I'd do all right. Probably live off that for a bit, couldn't you?
Just a while.
But from what I've seen of Pontiac, Michigan, so this stadium doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, one of the podcasts that I listened to, which I'll give a shout out to because it's fantastic, The Lapsed Fan.
Oh, yeah.
They did a pilgrimage to this venue not long before they tore it down, and they managed to skirt the security of the building and managed to walk into the building. And he said it was dangerous, like how badly it was falling down.
I see.
They managed to get to the centre bit, and he said like the middle of the arena was almost like floating on a little swamp type thing, which is where the ring would have been. And one of them body slammed the other co-host on there, just and got it recorded as a moment. And then within, I think it was a few months later, the place got pulled down.
Wow.
But Pontiac, Michigan is quite suburban. It's not a big metropolis like a lot of the other places, like Detroit is obviously a big city. Pontiac just doesn't have that, so it kind of brought the entire area to a grinding halt because of all the traffic that was suddenly being pumped into the area. So quite interesting really in comparison with, we've had New York. We had New York the second time, we had Chicago and we had Los Angeles, so they're all busy. I
suppose they're all bigger areas but smaller, well I don't know if they were smaller venues, but there was just less people, whereas this seems like a smaller area but an absolutely massive great stadium.
But it had the real estate to have the size of arena that they did.
Lovely.
Arena stadium, I think is a fairer description of that. And the slogan for this show is bigger, better, badder.
Oh, okay.
Tagline for the show there. We start once more with a super 80s graphic.
Oh God, it is awful.
It's just...
it's so bad, it's funny.
What I want, though, is I want, like, as I'm hearing this music, it reminds me of, like, an 80s show where you get suddenly someone from a TV show will be talking, going, oh, blah, 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 and then a freeze frame of them in that motion, just in the corner of the screen.
Oh, okay.
Then it would go to the next actor, and they would be doing, like, a bit of pretend talking, and then freeze on them.
To me, it was a talk show start. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they'd have, like, panned to people sat around in a talk show.
Kind of the same vibe though that we're going for, 100%. And yeah, again, the super 80s graphic intro for WrestleMania 3 with the banner. I quite like the WrestleMania 3 banner. I like the silvery touches to it.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, because what we've had so far was just the yellow,
yeah,
isn't it? Which is, again, nice and 80s and nostalgic for the WWF. But the silver was a nice little touch, I thought. The next shot we see is truly impressive, as from the bleachers we scan the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yes. I literally was like, wow, that is a lot of people. Was
that the first time where you thought this might be different from the other ones?
Yes.
And I think that was fully the intention. Fully the intention of the show here. I said already this feels like a much more grand spectacle from the first two Manias. Mm-hmm. It feels different level. As you described it, I think you said it was like an indie feel, didn't you?
Yes.
Because it's what the kind of the crowded area is dark and then the lights just
now
on the
this
ring.
is daylight as well. Like this kind of in a roundabout way reminds me of the current ones. Do you know what I mean? They start during the day, it's daylight, and then it gets darker, obviously, because that is the nature of night and day.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, this is different.
But I think that's why a lot of people look at this as being the first big WrestleMania for that reason.
Okay.
We see Vince McMahon stood in the middle of the ring and he introduces us to WrestleMania 3. Now, in
the same suit he's already worn, I'm just putting it out there.
So, yes, true. So as he goes, welcome ladies and gentlemen to WrestleMania 3!
Yeah.
He said, I saw in a documentary, he had a reflective moment. When he was in the ring, he stood there, he was looking around the stadium, it being sold out like it was, and he said he felt really emotional. And we've all seen Vince McMahon, he's not an overly emotional person, at least when he's, in the ring. And he just thought about his dad.
Okay.
He bought the company from his dad. Yeah. His dad died not too long after, so his dad wasn't even alive, I don't think, for the first WrestleMania.
See.
And he just thought, look how far we've come. He said, I wish my dad could have seen this.
Yeah.
But a nice little moment, because, don't get me wrong, a lot of stuff going on with Vince at the moment, but it does show that there is a human in there. And I believe when I saw the documentary, he was getting emotional talking about it on there. Like I said, it could be staged. I might be saying short, but
you never know.
It felt genuine. I'll say that. It felt very genuine. Aretha Franklin sings America the Beautiful. Usual patriotic imagery.
Yeah. I'll be honest though, I was surprised that it was her. I was like, I actually know who she is. Yeah. But it's great.
You've known the first other ones, haven't you?
Well yeah, but...
Gene Okerlund.
Well, exactly. To me it doesn't really count. Yeah. Also though, I know this was back in the day, so let's be a bit kinder to technology here, but her voice, great. The piano, what are they filming that with? Or recording it with? Like an underwater microphone?
Yeah.
It sounded awful.
But I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I quite liked it. Normally I bemoan this kind of stuff, but I don't know, it feels different when we're looking back and we see some big names. And I know there's some other pretty big names that do this for WrestleMania going forward. One I'm very interested to see your take on when we get to it. I think he's around WrestleMania 7.
Oh, right, okay.
You'll definitely know the guy, but it's odd. It's very odd.
Okay.
But yeah, like nice job by Aretha.
Yeah,
do you see her little security team stood around her at all times in case it gets a bit spicy? And I thought, who's going to jump? And then, to be fair, later on in the show, I don't know if you caught it, someone did run into the ring in one particular moment and gets absolutely swatted down by security.
Ooh, yeah. No, I know where you are.
But yeah, they did a job. I thought it was good. And this is where I put for the first time the crowd looked almost superimposed in the background, so it's quite surreal. It's like how
little dots in the background, but it's all fuzzy kind of.
Yes, I think that's, to be fair, a sign of the camera technology at the time. But it reminded me of, I think it was WrestleMania 2 when they did a cutaway to Gene, who was in Chicago, and I said he looks like he's digitally imposed, green screen in the arena, and this is what this reminded me of. We go to Gorilla Monsoon in a sexy ass red blazer and Dickie combo. Were you a fan?
Yeah, not my favourite outfit of the night though.
Hang on. Standing next to him,
here he is.
Jesse Ventura is on this night cosplaying as Damien, aka Jake Roberts' Python.
Honestly, that outfit, outstanding.
It's
absolutely outstanding.
It's Seth Rollins-esque.
It's brilliant. It's so good.
Imagine like going on a date with a guy.
No.
And exactly.
No, but it was for him. I'm now getting on board with the fact that this is what he does, or did, and I'm here for it. I thought it was great.
Future governor of Minnesota.
Please tell me he's still dressed like that whilst doing that job.
No, but he has, like you've seen my grandpa, his hairstyle. Mm-hmm. So as he got older, Jesse just kept that hairstyle the entire time. So he's just got it longer coming down the back, but completely dome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, egg in the nest, shall we say, up top.
Okay.
He didn't go quite as flamboyant. I don't even think the suit that he was wearing was the most criminal thing that he had about him, and I don't know if you spotted it.
Yeah, where are we going here?
I mentioned it later in the show because I don't think I spotted it at this moment, so
all right,
we'll see intrigued. If you noticed it, because it's hard not to.
On Jesse?
On Jesse.
So it's obviously not his earrings.
No, I'm used to him having weird earrings, but this, even for Jesse, struck me as odd.
Oh.
But I know I've written it down later, so I'll save it.
It concerns me that I don't know, because you're going to say it and I'm just going to go, oh. And then question myself as to why I didn't find this odd.
If you didn't find it odd, it's because you didn't see it.
Okay.
Because there's no way you'd see it and go, what?
Okay. Right, I'm intrigued.
I had to do a double take when I saw it.
Okay.
We then see that they're with Bob Uecker and Mary Hart. Stood there for reasons unbeknownst to me.
They don't get introduced till about 2 hours later.
To the crowd?
Yeah.
I mean, we get introduced
well, we've
to them
seen
twice.
them.
As do we get introduced to Jesse as well later.
Yes.
So Mary says that standing this close to Jesse, you can tell he is pumped up. You can tell many things.
Mm-hmm.
Gorilla. An unbelievable happening. First nonsensical ramble from Monsoon there. Love it. Unbelievable happening. Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened.
I just love the words missing.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
It's so good.
Later in the show, to give him credit, he starts putting those words in, but it makes me sad.
Yeah, because you missed the questioning of what?
Yeah, an unbelievable happening. The show has not started. We've heard Aretha Franklin.
Yeah,
that is all. He's ready to call it a day.
He loves it.
And this leads us to our first match of the night. A first of many matches.
The first of many.
Of the night.
Many.
We've got the Can-Am Connection taking on Magnificent Morocco and Cowboy Bob Orton.
Yes.
So Bob Orton's featured at all three Manias. First time he's actually
doing anything.
Exactly, competing in a match himself, and they are with Mr. Fuji, of course. Dastardly and devious. Because he's a Japanese heel, and that is what they were called at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you hear the Pearl Harbor references? Not specifically with Mr. Fuji, but that was a theme.
God.
So, having Gorilla just said an unbelievable happening, Gorilla says a happening twice more before the opening bell sounds.
It's just brilliant.
I mean, again, he's not technically wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just...
It's a happening.
It's like just saying, I breathed there. I breathed there again. It's... Yes.
I know.
Sometimes let it be. Just incredible. Morocco and Martel start things off, and I said Morocco looks like a skinny guy wearing a muscle suit. Because he just doesn't look... He looks like he's going to explode. He's like got a weird purple hue about him. He looks ready to die.
Oh.
But I don't think he is.
No.
Believe it or not. Given like that era of how many people have died from steroid abuse, and let's make no mistake, Morocco was very much in that group. Not dead. And yet he looked like he abused it for...
surprised you are.
Honest to God. Yeah, like not wishing death upon anyone, of course. But when you see how big he was compared to some of these other guys... Yeah, he does look
like if you put a pin in him, he'd explode.
Oh, he's put many pins in him. Well, they're more needles, to be fair. But
what I mean.
It doesn't look healthy. Collar and elbow sees Martel slap a side headlock before dropping Morocco with a shoulder tackle, which I thought was interesting because Morocco's clearly the bigger man.
Yeah.
Morocco then powers Martel into the corner and hits a knee. Whip sees Martel go up and over. With a lot of that as well in this evening.
So much of that, let's be clear.
There's a couple that I've got particular notes on later. A hip toss lands, and I honestly don't know what this is. Reverse wheelbarrow takedown?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Martel jumps up, kind of hooks his feet under the pits of Morocco, like he couldn't be asked to go for a full Hurricane Rana. I mean, that would have looked mad in 1987 WWF.
true.
And then
I don't
momentum went back.
call these things.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm calling it now. What do I call it here?
Reverse
wheelbarrow takedown.
Fair, take it.
We'll never see one of them again, so that's a shame. Headlock by Morocco, but Martel makes the blind tag and a double team monkey flip connects. I like that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that actually.
Even in a match like this, where, let's be fair, neither of us care overly about the people in there. Apart from you like Bob Orton because he's
but not
signed. But there's still moments where you go, oh, okay, that was good.
There's, especially in the whole of the event.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, dross. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
like it was good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The ring, however, is visibly moving when they're doing all this, which made me uneasy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool, we're doing an Irish whip, and the ring's moving. Brilliant.
When you say moving, how do you mean exactly?
Just like, it doesn't look like it's secured down to the floor to me. I'm sure it is, but you could literally see when they were bouncing off the ropes and going from corner to corner, it just moves probably like a centimetre or an inch, but do you know what I mean? It's like...
My guess is that it's not as tight as it would otherwise be, so it looks like it's moved, but it actually just quickly rights itself back to the same starting position. Same way how with skyscrapers and tall buildings, they've
got to be able to move, because otherwise they'd... Yeah.
Exactly, so they've got to have a little bit of leniency to move, so I imagine...
I'm sure there's a reason, but I wondered if it was purposefully done like this, preparing for the last match on the card, because I didn't know how that was going to play, and I thought, I wonder if they're going to do that on purpose.
Interesting theory.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
No,
I don't hate that theory, because it makes it sound as well more impressive when things happen. So where we go, hip toss lands, and we've done that. Headlock by Morocco, but Martel matches monkey flip. We've done that. Cowboy runs in and is hit with a double hip toss for his troubles. The heels regroup and Orton tags in. The heel regroup and Orton tags in. Oh yeah, because Orton hadn't tagged in.
No, he just jumped in, didn't he? Yeah.
Now my notes make sense. I even put Cowboy runs in. Shoulder block by Ace, but he runs into a body slam by Zenk. Orton stumbles into a Martel right. Zenk delivers an arm drag to the Cowboy and applies an arm lock. Love it. They love an arm lock in this era.
Oh god, yeah, they do.
Orton gets up, but arm drag, arm lock resumes. Full Nelson applied by Orton, but Zenk reverses. Orton gets it once more, but Zenk ducks, and Morocco, who has entered the ring illegally, might I add, punches and misses. Basically, it's just... I don't know what... Because it looks so stupid. Mm-hmm. So they had like the moments where... in the full Nelson, quickly reversed into another full Nelson, back to the starting position, and then this lumbering oaf walks in, tees up a punch, and then you miss. Like, just... I know we're supposed to... It's a put on, but I don't like...
It's one of those things, isn't it, that's like someone pushes you into running into a barricade. Well, you just stop your legs moving.
Yeah.
It's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, so he punches his own partner in the face, the long and short of it. This gets a 2 count, so okay.
Should I know who the Can-Am Connection are?
Good question. One of them you won't have heard of before, so Tom Zenk won't be. He was the one... Well, they kind of looked exactly the same, didn't they?
They really did.
He was the one with more narrow features, is the way I describe him, so his eyes were a bit more pin-like and centralised.
Okay.
Rick Martel, you might have seen from his later run in WWE or WWF. It would have been as the Rick the Model Martel.
Okay.
And he used to wear pink pants all the time, have his hair greased back, and used to come out with a aftershave sprayer or pheromone sprayer.
Okay.
It was a very interesting character, but Rick Martel had a bit of longevity, certainly in the company. Tom Zenk didn't really last too long.
They work really nicely together, though. I thought, really nicely. And
they, as you say, if someone who doesn't know, they're indistinguishable. And to be fair, sometimes I had to go, like squint to see.
That's why I didn't even try. I'll be honest. That's just who they were. I didn't even try and
the faces
work out who they were, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. In your notes, what were you referring to them as?
Can-Am.
Can-Am, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good cop-out. I like that.
Thank you.
Martel back in, and he continues to work over the arm of Orton. Hair pulled by the Cowboy because he's a diva. But no escape. I actually quite like that, to give he did the hair pull to try and get out of the arm drag, but he got the guy down, but then he tried to walk off, but then he gets pulled down because he's still in the arm lock. That was nice. Yeah. Like that. Zenk with the tag, and Morocco is in for the heels. Big body slam by Zenk. The heels have had nothing like in this match.
No.
It's been all Can-Am the whole way.
And the crowd fully support that.
Yep. Orton with a knee from the apron changes momentum, and Morocco hits a swinging neck breaker. Ace tagged and drops a second rope fist drop for 2. Double shoulder block has both men down. Both teams make the tag. Martel goes nuts, sending Morocco flipping in the corner. That's another flip in the corner.
Yes.
And rights for Ace. This breaks down now, so it's just chaos. As all tag team matches tend to become.
But before this happened, I did make a note that I thought it was really interesting that commentary wasn't ringside.
Okay.
Because it pans back to show you where they're sat. And at first I was like, oh, that's a bit naff. But then actually, when it gave you the view of what they can see, I was like, actually, that's actually pretty decent. It's more of a bird's eye view.
I noticed something. You didn't notice that they weren't really ringside at the other shows?
No, I didn't.
No.
But weren't they at one?
Not at one.
Really?
I think so.
I thought they...
No, you're right. They were standing there, but having said that, when they went to the outside of the ring, I never saw them again.
It's weird, isn't it? Because like in 1 and not even 2, but probably 1, when it panned to them doing the commentary, it looked like they were ringside because they're both sat at a table, which looked to be ground level. But this one, obviously, they were up in the, like, not in the rafters, but in the stands. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Because in my memory, a lot of the older WWF shows like this, they weren't sat at ringside.
I mean, there's not a lot of room at ringside, to be fair, especially when you've got the damn timekeepers and all that jazz there.
I think that is the main reason why they weren't. Certainly during the Heenan era with Gorilla Monsoon, so they became... So Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon were the main broadcast duo. Vince McMahon used to do a lot of it as well back then, but for this period he phased himself out because I think Ventura did work with McMahon for a while. And then when Ventura left the company, Heenan started to take over, and the Heenan-Monsoon relationship by a lot of WWF fans is considered to be their favourite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And even the people that will say, oh yeah, we love JR, for them their sweet spot is Monsoon and Heenan because they play off each other so well.
Oh, okay.
So the relationship on camera, at least, or on the audio that Monsoon had with Ventura, Monsoon very much does his same stick regardless of whoever he's with. Ventura will call out the double standards.
Yes.
So you go, you would have been fine with that gorilla if it had been the other way round though, wouldn't you? Yes. That kind of stuff. Good. Heenan had a different approach. So he would always cheer on the heels.
Okay.
And he would come up with ludicrous reasons as to why what he was saying was valid in this instance but not valid for something else.
Oh, okay.
And I'm genuinely so excited for you because I really think you'll get to the point where you go, Heenan's brilliant.
Okay. Is it kind of similar to like a Paul Heyman vibe? Or not really?
Yes.
As in an old school, like
yes.
Paul Heyman vibe?
Yes. I prefer Heenan.
Oh, okay.
Heyman's great.
Yeah,
and a lot of the stuff that Heyman takes from the commentary, he took from Heenan.
Nice, okay.
But Heenan is so good.
Oh, okay.
Like, especially, like, the call that made him, and is the best wrestling call of all time by anyone ever, was the 92 Royal Rumble.
Okay.
To give you little bit of background, you'll forget between now and whenever we do that
definitely
show.
Will.
He had a vested interest in Ric Flair winning that Royal Rumble, and whoever won that Royal Rumble would be the WWF champion. So the story arc of that is Heenan on commentary losing his mind anytime Flair gets in danger, and he's so confident going into it that he's going to win, and then Flair comes out third. Oh. And you just hear Heenan go, oh God, no, and the whole show is just like a Bobby Heenan experience of him going through peaks and troughs, and it's amazing. Okay. I don't think anyone out there would disagree. I'm happy to have anyone disagree. I don't think anyone will say that was the finest commentary performance of all time.
Okay.
And that's a good point, actually, in general. If you ever get any questions as we're going through this, and this isn't us doing like the creative thing on camera here, if you get anything that you wanted a bit more information about or had any uncertainties, say, so what was going on with this? And assuming I know the answer, I'll give it to you.
Lovely.
Brilliant. So, the action's completely broken down. The Can-Am connection, reverse corner whips, and inexplicably Morocco backdrops Orton.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't understand.
You saw it was Orton. Why'd you duck?
Yeah,
and then why'd you lift?
Understand.
Silly boy. Silly beefy bitch. Double drop kick on Morocco, and Orton is sent to the floor by a drop kick from Zenk.
Yeah.
Morocco catches Martel on a crossbody.
Yeah.
but trips backwards over Zenk, leading to the 1, 2, 3.
That was very funny.
The ending, do you know the pin sequence? It was alright.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. It worked.
So we're on the Meltzonomics portion of the card.
I didn't know that would be a thing here.
Oh, I've got it on.
You're doing it for every single...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What do you think this was as a star rating?
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Oh, God. Right, this has to be completely fresh in my mind.
I was going to say as well, maybe think about the time it was as well.
Yeah,
So
not compare it to like the last one we did where I gave other things.
Because they'll be relative for the time period.
Oh, God, I just don't want to be too generous.
No, that's fine.
3.
2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're still within your
I'll
usual
take
boundaries.
I'll take it. It
2.5?
wasn't too long, so that's why I thought it was all right.
I thought the action was quite well paced. Yeah. Again, if I factor in the time period,
yes.
2.5 seems absolutely reasonable to
Yeah.
me. I will say there is definitely one match in this that I strongly disagree with the star rating of.
Oh, okay.
But we will get to there later on.
Yeah, I just made a note on the end of this though, when it did worry me because I was like, oh no, is it going to be the same as WrestleMania 2? When it gets to the end, we've obviously seen the pin, so you know who wins, and then they stand there and go, oh, let's see if we get the official word, and there's silence. Oh, and there it is.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I noticed it myself, and I went to write it down and I thought, no, Holly will get this.
Yeah, for sure.
I backed you to get this. So whenever it comes to attire, unless there's something I specifically want to mention...
You know I'm all on what they're wearing.
Yeah, I know that during sleeper holds there'll be something that you'll always write down.
There's a couple noted down.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I've seen the same show, funnily enough. But you're right, that did happen.
Yeah.
And my first thought was back at WrestleMania 2 when they were like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. But it wasn't too long, but it was just a bit apprehensive, shall we say. And I was like, brilliant, here we go.
Do you reckon Vince was having kittens?
Yes.
Yeah. Video package for Billy Jack Haynes and Hercules.
Yes. I didn't have a clue who... I know who Hercules was, I've seen him before. Billy Jack Haynes was. But I was okay with this.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Look, I've got to get a little something from these older shows. I've got to take it where I can get it.
So Haynes was invited to try and escape the full Nelson, but is instead clotheslined and beaten by Herc. That's basically the gist of this promo package. So Billy Jack Haynes is someone who even I'm not overly familiar with. In fact, I would be willing to bet this is the only WrestleMania card he's on.
Okay.
He's got a very weird frame, is the way I can describe it, because his legs look normal.
To me, he's a Johnny Bravo.
But then it's all from
Big
chest up, shoulders massive, but then the rest looks like almost a model type build. Lean. And then he's got like a caveman head plopped on. Yeah. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, Holly would be climbing up and down this all day.
Like a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's probably pretty tall, but he looks tough, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And then we see Mean Gene interviewing Heenan and Hercules. Heenan says, Billy Jerk Haynes. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, Hercules is claiming to be 1,000 or thousands of years old here. Yeah. Don't know if you heard the promo. I wrote it down.
Okay.
He said, just like I did thousands of years ago when I used this chain to pull down the pillars of Rome. What are you saying, you mad fucker?
So impression number 1.
Yeah. Also, a little insight. I've been ill as shit for the last week. So I mentioned, I think, in the last episode that I had a tickly throat. Safe to say that developed into a full-blown fuck you. This is the first day where I've really even contemplated being able to do this. It's going all right so far, I think. Yeah. Fairly impressed. There's one, not promo, because I'm not a wrestler. There's one impression that I really think I might end up doing later in the show.
Oh, okay. I wonder if it's the one I'm thinking of.
And it could fucking kill me. There's a few for sure, but there's one that, because I'm jumping ahead of myself. That's the best part, because I know the fun bits that are coming up, and I'm so excited to talk to you about them, because we don't get the opportunity outside of this. But yeah, after Hercules claims to have been thousands of years old, so after Hercules claimed to be 1,000 years old, I just thought, see kids, don't do steroids. They make you say shit so dumb that nobody will love you ever.
This is stupid. Stupid.
Pointless. Ridiculous. And they're just nodding next to him like, yeah, this is normal words in a sentence that makes sense.
I don't get it.
Heenan wants to officially confirm once more it is Billy Jerk Haynes, for
Honestly.
anyone that was unsure. Now we get to the match. Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules.
Yes.
This is the first time we see the mini rings wrestlers come to the ring on.
Yes.
Thoughts?
At first I hated it. At first I was like, oh, this is stupid. And then actually I thought, actually, this is genius. It's such a good idea. Gets them there quicker, gets rid of them quicker, probably makes the show run a bit smoother and quicker. Bring it in now. Because 20 minutes is someone slowly walk into the ring these days.
Do you remember the Royal Rumble they did that for?
Oh my God.
In Texas they had, but they didn't show it on camera, so it looked like people weren't doing it. But basically, are you a big chunky boy? Get on the back of this and we'll take you to the ring. Mark Henry, jump on. Big Show, jump on. Braun, get your beefy bollocks on here, son.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, but except they tried to hide it there, but here they're very much... I thought it added a bit of gravitas.
A regal entrance as well, isn't it?
Because it shows them being like presented and displayed, and they're like, oh, we're too good to walk.
Yeah.
But I think it was very much the timekeeping thing. So if you look at the size of that ramp, a very few people walked it.
Well, especially the people that you get later on.
Oh
that
my God,
would be so slow.
It's still going on now.
So at first when I saw it, I was like, oh God, what is this? And then as the show went on, I was like, no, I like it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'd like one to take me from in and out of work, I'll be honest.
And there's a couple of famous images of that in use that get used later on, which I said, take away clips from WrestleMania that stick in the memory. Okay. There's two that I can think of from there for sure. So we know that you like Billy Jack Haynes. Fine, I thought you would.
A match of muscle, absolutely.
Yeah, what do you make of this glitterable cowboy get-up that he's wearing?
I don't mind it.
Of course you don't. You could be, right. I don't know why I thought you'd go, the outfit's not the one though.
No, I don't mind it.
No,
fine.
I should have known cowboy, of course.
Yep.
So. Before the bell rings and the two beefy lads butt heads, collar and elbow is broken up by the ref in the corner, allowing Herc to slyly throw a knee. Big knee lift follows. Haynes fires back with a succession of chops and a very impressive press slam, like unbelievably impressive. Yeah. It's like Hercules has got no weight, like he's full of helium, the way that Haynes gets him up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I couldn't believe it.
I did just sit there and go, oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you can pick me up and I can wrap my legs around your head. Have a lovely time.
God.
Haynes looks for the full Nelson, but Herc scurries to the ropes and Heenan is there, who's giving him instructions.
Of course.
Back to chops and right hands from Billy, who whips Herc into the corner.
Sorry to throw you off track here.
Carry on.
Also, if anyone can doze my stomach absolutely rumbling.
I can hear it, no one else can.
G'day. This also, to me, this first match, I know we're going to make jokes about, this was great for me. It was. But also, to me, the physiques of these two men, very different to the physiques of many other wrestlers I've seen in WrestleMania 1 and 2. Just putting it out there. And I know this is probably the era of, roid rage, I don't know, but I was like, oh, okay, now we're going to start seeing like a bit of muscle rather than just big guys.
So the steroid really set in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So it'd been around for a while. So after Bruno Sammartino, and that was kind of the last age of legitimacy, it felt like, where everything was natural.
Okay.
We get superstar Billy Graham, who was a former WWF champion. Okay. And someone that Hulk Hogan modelled a lot of his look after as well. There's stories, so when the whole Vince McMahon and the WWF were taken to trial over steroids, superstar Billy Graham was one of the first to testify against them and saying how it deteriorated his health, his career. Oh. Let's not forget that you made this decision yourself, and his stories were so over the top. All the bits of truth that he was laying out there were completely washed out by the fabrications he was making. So his testimony was basically thrown out. There's stories where he's saying that he himself has personally injected Hulk Hogan with steroids, and there was I don't know if you're aware of the American talk show Arsenio Hall.
No.
So this was late 80s going into the early 90s, and Hulk Hogan went on there when this I think it was Dr. Zahorian. So Dr. Zahorian was on the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission, and he was assigned frequently to WWF shows. At these shows, he liked feeling part of he was a big wrestling fan, first of all, but he liked feeling important and being seen as important backstage at the wrestling shows. And he was quite happy to write out prescriptions for people for whatever they wanted. And he went on trial a few years before WWF did, and Vince McMahon got off, basically. He wasn't found guilty in the trial of his life. Dr. Zahorian, from a couple of years earlier, who then went on trial against Vince McMahon later on, was put in prison for 3 years for the crimes that he did. So, steroids came along very much in the 70s, but as you can see, it wasn't...
Still very much a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't everyone was doing it.
No.
The peak of it was for sure the 80s.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
But, yeah...
it just, you can see, like, for me anyway, I could see a definite change in... It wasn't just bigger guys, as in, like, big.
Yeah.
It was now, to me, there's more men in this card that are, like, physically looking strong rather than just being big.
Yeah, Hercules was 100% one of the people that was in the steroid game. I don't know enough about Billy Jack Haynes to know if he did, but he isn't built like a normal steroid guy is. Because when you're full of steroids, you tend to get the bloated belly, like, because you retain water as well, so your whole frame kind of expands. He was just up top, gotten bigger. But everyone else who was on steroids just looked like they carried it differently. So I wouldn't be surprised to find if Billy Jack Haynes, that was natural.
Yeah, fair.
Which, fair play to him.
Fair.
Hercules fires back on the rebound with a heavy clothesline. Back body drop follows. Powerful whip sends Haynes into the corner twice, and a suplex in short order follows. I put this is dumb. So Herc pulls Haynes' head off the canvas at 2.
Yes.
Why? Because like, you weren't dominating. You weren't like, it wasn't like Dean Malenko against Lita.
No.
You would take that win.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Like, there's nothing to be gained from that. It doesn't, like I said, it didn't make him look like, look how powerful and badass he is.
No.
It just looks stupid.
And even commentary, they were like, oh.
Yeah.
Even they were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Jesse, who always cries out and goes for the heels and goes, I see why he did that. Of course he did that. Couldn't justify that action. Billy now unloads with the right hands to the midsection, but fails with a suplex due to his back. Backbreaker by Hercules and a press slam of his own, but wasn't nearly as good as the ones that Haynes did.
No, it really wasn't, but it was a handful of crotch and pants.
It was, and you were quite happy about that, I'd imagine.
Stop it.
Full Nelson by Herc, but he's unable to lock his fingers to fully secure the hold, and that was a point that the commentary team kept making as well.
Yes. They're like, he needs to get his hands up. And I was like, here we go. This is going to be the first of many asleep awakes.
Well,
but
Haynes looks to be fading. Arm drops 3 times. Oh no, it didn't apparently. He kept it up.
It definitely
He dropped?
Yes.
Yeah. As it looks like he will break free, Herc hits him on the external occipital protuberance.
Very good.
Thank you. Double clothesline drops both men, but Haynes comes back strong with a reverse atomic drop.
Yeah.
That can't be nice. No.
Is that not a low blow?
It's weird because in wrestling it's sold like it is, but it's supposed to be... No, because it would be a disqualification, but it's supposed to hit the groin area rather than straight up the spout. Sorry, I was very much pointing there, realised. Although you didn't look away, I notice. Double clothesline drops both men, as we said. Reckless clothesline follows, as does a second. Second rope fist drop by Billy. Full Nelson by Haynes. And both men fall through the ropes to the floor.
Yeah. Full
Nelson on the floor. Both men then get counted out.
There's so much spit here. So much. It's disgusting.
Oh, the glitter cowboy is frothing at the mouth.
So grim.
And the worst part is the beard catches it.
Yeah. That to me is not a fan. Okay. Absolutely not a fan.
Check myself. I think we're fine.
You're all good.
Yeah. So the refs counted them both out. Because he's an absolute gangster, we see Bobby Heenan run and hit a knee.
Oh, of course.
To break it up. Because, absolutely. And then run like hell, which is fair. Back in the ring, and Herc hits Haynes with the chain 5 times to bust him open.
Blade.
There it is.
Blade.
There it is.
Very so obvious blade. Absolutely. So obvious.
Yep.
So obvious.
I'm glad that's the thing. So I was hoping you were going to say something. So, grading this match.
Oh, yes.
What would you score it?
Oh, if I take out the fact that it was mine, like, a little bit interesting. 2.
2.75.
Oh, okay.
This was graded
so higher than the one before.
Yeah, I disagree with that too.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I would have said this one 2.25.
Okay.
Would probably be where I'd land, because I don't think it justifies being.
No.
To me, it wasn't as good as the other one. But like I said, the one thing that we can't factor in is how it was perceived at the time.
Exactly.
Granted, again, it's just one man's opinion.
Yeah.
But the story of breaking the full Nelson, that might have had like quite a lot.
Probably.
Because the crowd were into it. They weren't quiet,
really were.
So that probably boosts it up a little bit.
And I didn't hate it. Do you know what I mean? Like, saying 2 is really hard. Like, in my head it's harsh because I think it's out of 10. But actually 2 out of 5, yeah, it's less than half. But you know what?
That's fine.
It is fine. I did do a little bit of Googling though.
Please do.
Of Billy Jack Haynes. And I'll be honest, I kind of wish I didn't.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
So the first one was that this isn't bad, I don't think, but he's another one of the wrestlers who filed against WWF, WWE for, right, here we go. CTE is what they call it.
Concussion.
Effectively, because he believed that WWE, so obviously it came along in later days, should pay into a medical trust that would then effectively pay for the injured wrestlers to get the treatment that they need. Fair. I think that's a nice idea. Yep. Whether they do that now, who knows? But at the time, I'm assuming they don't. At the time, they obviously didn't.
Yep.
Then it went on to talk about something else.
Okay.
And again, this is off Google, but it's very recent, saying that apparently he was arrested quite recently for allegedly shooting his wife. It said that she was suffering from dementia. And yeah, he's in prison currently, or in custody or something right now.
Okay, that's not something I'd heard.
Yeah,
did it give any background information? Like, for example, because the fact that it specified she had dementia.
Yeah, I would imagine
it's putting out of your misery rather than
I would imagine so.
A crime of not passion, a crime of mercy. I don't know what they call that, but that's shocking.
Actually, to say he's in prison is probably wrong, because it says, even in the news at the minute, it says he remains hospitalised after shooting his wife, and that was updated on the 15th of February.
Wow.
Yeah, really sad.
That's very sad. Yeah. Like I said, I know very little about Billy Jack Haynes. One of the few people from this era that, to the point where I've seen this show twice before we've watched it here.
Okay.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
So when he came out, I went, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very interesting. Bit of serendipity that is in the news at the moment as well, because I didn't know that.
No.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Well, hopefully I would like an update on that actually.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk.
Yeah. Okay, so after the match, we're now Mean Gene interviewing King Kong Bundy.
Yes.
The Grand Omelette.
But before they go there,
yeah,
let's go to an interview centre with me. That's how it's introduced.
No, with Mean.
No.
They don't say with me.
Does it not?
With Mean
That's
Gene.
why I got well confused.
No.
I was like, who is this saying this? I thought they'd swapped commentators. I got well confused.
Oh, don't make me laugh because I'm going to cough.
Sorry.
With Mean.
It literally I just sit and try and work out what was going on, because I was like, it's the same voice.
Me.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's the same voice as the person before.
Yeah. No.
Okay. I wish you'd have said the full name.
So Mean Gene interviews King Kong Bundy.
Thank you.
Bundy, accompanied by Little Tokyo and Lord Littlebrook, his partners for the upcoming match.
Honestly.
The 30-year-old Ostrich Egg says that if Hillbilly Jim and the 2 midgets get in his way, he will crush all 3 of them.
I can't with this one. I can't.
You can't?
I can't. I barely... even when it comes to the match, I've made like 4 points. I just couldn't. I don't understand this.
So when I'm quoting things in here, I'm quoting as it was said at the time.
You are.
As he smashes his hand down in the promo, he makes both Little Tokyo and Lord Littlebrook jump.
Mm-hmm.
Monsoon, and this is a direct quote, Bundy obviously looking to make a great squash out of some midgets.
Honestly.
What does that mean?
I don't even know.
What does that mean?
Can't.
Bob Uecker with a creepy wink to the camera, which I actually thought was good. Yeah. So he's just saying, hey, little wink. And then Gorilla goes, no, face the ring.
Yes.
And then he goes... and turns back and does it again. Bob Uecker, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Yeah. So that was right. Okay, so I started, because I didn't realise the format of how they were doing these.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interview section set up before the match.
Yes.
We now
thought the match was going to come after another match, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
But it's like a pre-recorded interview.
But
I assume.
Yeah, but then they come out to the ring, and they go, okay, so the match starts. So I wrote down the title of the match.
As did I.
And then the second interview
And then we go
starts.
to the next promo, yeah.
So...
well confusing.
When I say, now the match begins, I'm aware that the interview follows, but I'll have written it at the start
I've done
of the
the
match.
exact same thing. I've put that promo, then I put in my little format who is in the match, and then I've got, hold up, There's another fucking promo. What is going on?
I wanted to say it was them trying to find their feet of how the formatting would work, but I don't think that's the case. I think they were doing it so that they could time the entrances. So there was no lull in the action for the viewers watching from home.
Yeah, true.
Because no one wants to see...
followed by waiting.
Yeah, exactly. So
get that.
That's. I didn't think that was a bad approach to take. But the match. King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo and Lord Littlebrook versus Hillbilly Jim, Little Beaver and the Haiti Kid.
I don't want this match.
So, what fears went through your head when you saw this?
I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. I obviously have seen King Kong Bundy before, and I've seen the Hillbilly guy, because I remember being like, oh, his intro it just makes me smile.
Yeah.
But I just, why? What is this?
So
just have the two big guys together.
So, Little People Wrestling was actually very much its own entity.
Yes, I know. I understood that more when the match went on, because the commentators did talk about it. But also, either have one or t'other, to me.
Yeah, I think the issue we've got here is it being WWF.
Yes.
And who's booking WWF.
It's like an
and
exploitation again. Exactly.
It is. And
it's not there to be serious, this one.
Because even though they are small in stature, they are treated like they're children. And what King Kong Bundy said wasn't as bad as what comes up in the next bit for me.
Okay.
And what I say might sound a little bit harsh, but I think if you, having seen the clip, you'll realise what I'm saying. You go, oh my God, it's actually true.
Yeah.
But yeah, Little People Wrestling, I need to stop making myself say, I know midget's not the acceptable term here, but it's what they're using.
What they say at that time.
So if I catch myself saying that, it's not as a derogatory comment, it's just because of how it's being termed at the time. So Little People Wrestling was very much something that was entertained people, like almost before proper wrestling did. It was, in terms of pro wrestling, Little People Wrestling could always have that, for, lack of a better term, that comedic edge that mainstream wrestling couldn't have, because it's visually something different, isn't it? And it worked well, because they could get, I'm sure the pay wasn't great for it, but it brought something different to the table, so they had their own corner of the market where they could do their own thing, which was great. In this environment, in the WWF, if WWF get a chance to treat something seriously or as a joke, specifically then, you know which way they're going to go with something like that. So,
I just think, for me personally as well, again, not being able to comment on it at the time, I just think either have the two big guys against each other, or, if you want to have a match like that, have it without the big guys. We don't need them. Yeah. Like, just have a proper serious match then. Interesting.
In theory, the rules dictate that it's not bad, because you're not supposed to be able to have one of the fully grown men against... No, it doesn't happen. And to be fair, obviously not.
No.
Because if you're a heel,
of course you're going to do that.
And it is savage as well, what we see. So we don't quite get into the flow of the match just yet, because as the heels are in the ring, we now see an interview with the faces by Mean Gene.
Of course.
By me.
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim unintentionally patronises the shit out of his partners, as he refers to them as his little buddies, and how he's concerned about them with Bundy. His heart's in the right place, if nothing else.
Yeah. I'd be concerned about them with Bundy.
Oh, I was concerned. Not that he'd crush them, that he'd eat them. All the while he's talking, Beaver... This is the bit which might sound harsh, but think about it. All the while he's talking, Beaver and Haiti are nodding and smiling, looking up at him like he's Santa.
Oh.
And just when I thought that might be a little bit too harsh to write, then he picks them up.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
Which is odd. Bad. And then Haiti Kid's just pulling his beard like he's fucking Santa.
Yeah, I did think that was a bit odd. But this whole thing was fucking
They're not children.
No.
They're
grown men.
Man's in his 40s.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, Little Beaver was born 50. Look at his face. That's a road-mild fucking face, if I've ever seen one. And but people aren't thinking at home, like, oh, midgets are children.
No.
That's not what they're doing.
No.
It's just such a weird perception. Having said that, when the match starts, the first little interaction... little interaction. The first interaction was pretty good.
I like was it the rowboat? I enjoyed that. Here for it.
So when the faces get in the ring, they start a hoedown, and Jim does a cartwheel.
Again, that was fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Haiti and Tokyo start with a solid exchange until the first comedy spot hits. So when they're actually wrestling...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But this was what I meant, was that take other people, like take Hillbilly and King Kong out of the situation, I would happily enjoy this.
Yeah. So the first comedy spot, do you know which one I'm referring to here?
Beaver.
Well, no.
Oh no!
So all four of the little wrestlers start crisscrossing until the heels bang heads.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Did you know that Lord Littlebrook is from England?
Yes, I did. Because they mention it about 500 times, but yeah.
Yeah, he's about the same height as my dad, I think. So it could well be, from the era. I don't know, just saying. Were you about to say something there?
Just on commentary, I don't know who says it, but someone goes, "Oh, Beaver reminds me of a girl I used to date."
Yeah.
And that was it for me. I was like, this whole match can finish now, because that's all I needed from this.
Because I'm finished.
That's all I needed.
I'll be honest, I purposefully made the decision not to listen to the commentary.
Okay.
Because I knew that I'd be just writing reams about the comments about midgets, little people, all this kind of stuff. So I thought it's best I just focus on what's happening in the ring. Bundy stood in the apron, must be thinking, I'm sure I headlined this last year.
Yeah, honestly.
How the mighty eggs have fallen.
How did they sell that to him?
And do you know what's great? There's a Humpty Dumpty reference on this show, and it isn't labelled at him. I don't know if you heard the Humpty Dumpty thing later.
Yeah, I did.
But this is this is the egg of them all. King Egg. Beaver and Haiti start using the heels' legs to row a boat, but the heels break it up.
Yeah,
fine.
Quite like that.
Again, working within the niche. Yeah. Not got a problem. Haiti with an atomic drop to Tokyo before tagging in Beaver, who slaps Tokyo into his corner. This, just realised that, because I've had to go with, because everything was like little this or little that, so I had to go by the other name, so it just sounds really mental what I'm saying here.
No, I've done that too. I've got notes here being like, just Beaver constantly is the one that's mentioned.
Giggity. Littlebrook in now, and Holly, did you notice he came to the ring in sunglasses?
Yes, but this is the only annoying thing about this whole event. Anyone that wore sunglasses, I can't say anything, 'cause it's freaking outside.
It's not.
Is the venue not outside? Yeah. Then how was it daytime?
Because the cover of the dome...
Therefore, it's outside.
They're all outside. No, it's domed, but you can light permeates through it.
Oh, in that case, that changes everything.
Yep.
But...
Angry?
Yeah, now I won't. No. You should just let me have it.
Oh, there's other moments later which will get you annoyed with sunglasses, I know that. Tokyo chokes Beaver in the...
It just sounds so weird.
Tokyo chokes Beaver in the corner as Littlebrook distracts the official. Bundy wants in and makes the tag.
Oh.
Beaver dives between Bundy's legs, then hits a drop kick to the stomach.
Gunt.
Yep, the gunt. Yep. I'm glad someone else uses that word.
Yeah.
Before tagging Hillbilly. Bundy clubs away at Jim, who returns with a clothesline, knocking the big man down. Big elbow drop by Hillbilly, and the faces pile on for a pin, but Bundy kicks out, like literally all of them.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course.
Again, don't mind that.
No, I don't mind that. But Hillbilly, was he trained by Cowboy Bob?
Is this research that you've done?
Well, I've got it written down. I don't know where the hell I've got that from.
So, the storyline of how he was trained was by Hogan. Hogan pulled him out of the crowd and then started training.
Okay.
Would I be surprised if the Cowboy trained him? No, probably not. I know Hillbilly came into the game late and he was never a good wrestler.
Right.
He was just serviceable. He had a good look, interesting character. Okay. So I couldn't confirm or deny that for you.
Fair.
But it doesn't sound unreasonable. Bundy with a back elbow drops Hillbilly Jim. Little Beaver slaps Bundy in the face. I quite like that. You could hear the slap as well.
Yeah.
That's great. Bundy goes to chase and levels Hillbilly with a clothesline. Splash in the corner follows. Beaver starts pummeling the leg of Bundy, who then hits a huge body slam on the poor bastard. Elbow drop by Bundy, and the ref calls for the disqualification. Now, to give Bundy credit, this heel work is top draw.
Yeah.
The elbow drop he hits, because it's the camera, it's away from the hard camera, so you just see his body fall on him.
Yeah, the camera's very kind.
Looks like Beaver's
looks like
dead.
it would literally break someone in half.
He slayed some Beaver.
Yeah.
On this night.
See what you did there.
All the little people then save Beaver. As Bundy gets mad, Hillbilly Jim clocks him and the big man retreats. Hillbilly Jim picks up Beaver, who looks completely dead.
This is just odd though.
So all the little wrestlers together, they've unified against...
Yeah, of course.
Which isn't the only time I've seen something like that in WWF history.
Oh.
But we'll get to the 1994 Survivor Series at a later date.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
That... I'm not going to go into it.
No.
Yeah. If you had to give this match a rating? What are you giving it?
Oh.
Go with what you think, because you're not trying to match the score of
No,
Dave.
I'm not, and it's annoying to me because, as I've said about 500 times, if it was two separate matches, I think it would be completely different.
Mm-hmm.
One.
I think that's fair. 2.
Yeah.
I think 1 is fair. 1.5, okay. Because there wasn't anything in there that I went, oh, for God's sake. But it didn't have time to do anything either. Not that it should have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't disagree with your 1 star. Am I mad at 2 stars? No.
No, I just don't care. This is one I just would skip over.
Yeah.
Also, though, we're in 4 matches in. 2 DQs so far.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I continue to make notes of these things as this went on.
No, that's good, but I think that's an issue that I've always had with WWE, and they're guilty of it still sometimes to this day. I don't want to see... No one goes to a big show and wants to see a wishy-washy ending that needs another match down the line. And this is part of the reason why I was getting mad at, like Hell in a Cell events where you arbitrarily just have to have at least a match in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Use it when it's merited. I don't like this kind of stuff at big shows. So, but back then, they loved it.
Yeah.
And by they, I mean Vince.
Okay.
We now go to another little segment.
Yes.
Oh, this is the impression.
Oh, is it?
One of the impressions.
Of course it is, because I know who's coming.
I forgot about it. Oh, this is going to kill me.
Oh, no.
So Mary Hart's with Elizabeth backstage.
Also, maybe prep everyone, maybe turn your volumes down, because I know what's coming.
Yeah, you might want to do that. So we've got a battle of the 80s hairstyles here.
Don't we just? But I'm sorry. Elizabeth is an absolute queen.
She is, isn't she?
Look at her.
Beautiful lady.
Stunning.
Elizabeth dressed to the nines, such a naturally pretty woman.
Yeah.
Was my comment. Mary asks if Elizabeth has any trepidations, as Macho Man cuts his manager off.
Word of the day.
Trepidation?
Yeah.
Yep. Mary is annoyed, as Randy says he will answer any questions one by one. And then he comes out with this. Fascinating is the word of the day. Enthusiasm is where I go. Elizabeth, down that aisle.
Sorry, I can't.
What did she say that led him to that?
I don't even understand what that meant, but that impression was everything.
I don't think it was a good one, to be fair, because my voice, I couldn't quite get there.
Everything. Number 2. Done.
Yeah. So apologies for that. I feel like the one I did before Macho was better.
Yeah, it was good.
But this one...
I think you held the volume back on this one as well.
Because I couldn't go louder. But it was just a weird promo.
Effectively, also, to me, it just solidified that she is not allowed to say anything. She's not allowed an opinion. And later on... Oh, I'll get to that later.
Yeah, later on, we'll get to that later.
Later on.
We then go to a package for Harley Race and the Junkyard Dog. King says he's the king of all wrestling and everyone should now be should bow down in servitude. Servitude's a pretty good word. JYD says the US has never had a queen, a king, and his parents only told him to kneel before God. See, now these two I'd quite like to have done impressions for as well, but I'm not going to push it today.
No.
Junkyard Dog shown putting the crown and cape on before he's assaulted by Race. Interview now, and Moolah looks dead behind the eyes.
She is 100% reading off an auto cue.
Well, it's only like 2 words that she says.
But you can see her staring, and then all of a sudden she says it. So, honestly.
Did you like the frock that she was wearing that were made out of the same design curtains that I have in my lounge? Very similar, just less sparkly, my curtains. Heenan instructs Tamula to crown the king after he wins like only the Queen of Wrestling can. And then Moolah is staring off camera the whole time like there is a hostage being held at gunpoint and she doesn't want to be there at all.
Yes. She looks petrified.
And then there's a moment where she goes, smile.
Yeah, she does look petrified.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Oh dear.
Now the match.
Yay. Woo.
King Harley Race with Fabulous Moolah and Bobby the Brain Heenan versus the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah.
Holly, do you happen to recognise Harley Race's music here?
Oh, no.
Later used by Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, no.
Do, 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 do,
oh, it's not him then.
Do, 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 do.
Oh.
You gonna let me carry on with that? Cheers.
Yeah, please. Sorry, I'm trying to find a note I've written, but it's obviously not for this match. It's obviously for later.
I actually have...
Carry on.
I feel like this might be an interesting story.
Oh, story time.
Did you ever hear how Vince McMahon tried to sabotage Starrcade 83? So you don't know what Starrcade 83 is. So Starrcade 1983 was the NWA... It was the first ever wrestling pay-per-view, but it was certainly their first foray into the pay-per-view market.
Okay.
1983, so 2 years before WrestleMania was even done.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon was very wary that this could cause his business problems.
Right.
He called Harley Race up, who was the NWA champion. So the main event for Starrcade 83 was titled A Flair for the Gold. Harley Race was defending the NWA title against Ric Flair in a steel cage.
Oh, okay.
Vince didn't want the show to take place. He called Harley up. Harley came and had a meal with him in New York. Vince was saying, we'd like to consider maybe bringing you into WWF, etc. And then they both happened to go to the bathroom at the same time. They carried on talking in there. Vince kind of laid out his proposal and said, I will give you $250,000 if you no-show Starrcade 1983.
Wow.
Harley was washing his hands at the sink. He said, just looked up, he was talking to Vince through the mirror. He said, problem is, Vince, he says, I have to look at that man in the mirror every day. He said, I can't do that. So he showed a bit of integrity, turned down the money, said, I made my commitment, I can't do it. He said he could tell that Vince was very annoyed with this, but he was trying to keep it within himself, not get too out there. They went to leave the bathroom. Vince inexplicably tried to shoot for a double leg on Harley Race.
What?
Yeah, tried to take down Harley Race. Harley Race just put his forearm in there, gave him a crossface, put him down, said he could have easily broken Vince's neck if he wanted to. He said, wasn't expecting that, to be honest, but Vince tried to shoot a double leg takedown on Harley Race in a men's room of a bathroom, and it was Harley Race's wife that had to come in and separate them.
Jesus.
Because,
I love these stories, these are great.
Because Vince wasn't used to getting his own way.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Who does that?
I know.
Also, that's so unhygienic. The floor would be dirty.
Just what? Go, I'm going to double leg takedown you. Well, what does that prove even if you do?
That's so weird.
Was
he going to make him change his mind?
Yeah,
Think,
sorry,
actually.
Vince. Yeah, do you know what? I will.
Jesus.
Yeah, or you'll go, yeah, okay, you will do that, but now your price is now $100,000.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Oh my God, how weird.
Fucking idiot. So the JYD is interviewed by Gene, and then he says, I'm pretty sure this phrase, as sure as I am black and the day is thunder. What? What? The first bit is self-explanatory. What does the day is thunder mean?
I don't know, I'll be honest.
Fair enough.
I've given up trying to understand some of these promos.
That's not even the most nonsensical one bit. I'm very excited to do that later on. We do get here one of my favourite visuals of the night, as we see from behind JYD as he's making his way to the ring on the motorised ring. We see him doing like the barking, and you see the whole stadium.
Crowd loved him as well, which was very nice.
He's a very popular baby face. The two, Moolah still ladies world champion was pointed out.
Yeah.
She's about 78. The two lock up and JYD blocks two rights from Race before returning with his own. Heenan grabs the leg and JYD goes in pursuit.
I start to get annoyed here, I'm really sorry.
I knew you were going to.
I can't. Honestly, fuck all the wrestlers off. Because at this point, the managers, it's the same two further on, probably not at this point, but it's the same two that keep coming out. Just put them in the fucking ring together at this point.
Yes, but Heenan isn't the worst person on this
he's not.
event.
But this is when I started to get a bit annoyed.
So as JYD's in pursuit, he returns to the ring. Race lands an elbow. JYD flurries with various strikes before dropping Race with a big headbutt. Race throws JYD to the floor and kicks him from the apron.
Yeah, it's a bit of a heavy bump as well, I'll be honest.
Yeah, the next bit? The falling headbutt doesn't find a home. And I must admit, this did make me laugh when I saw it in person. Just the way he just standing on the apron and then just falls like a felled tree.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
And then you hear the...
Yeah.
As he misses. No wonder all these people getting bloody injured all
I
the
know.
time. JYD clotheslines Race over the ropes and back into the ring, which is something I don't think I've seen before.
Yeah, no.
A jumping ring dinger sends Race to the floor. Body slam over the ropes and back in by JYD. So again, I haven't seen this before. So JYD standing inside the ring.
Yeah.
He goes to reach for Race, who's on the apron.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to try and lift him up by his pants, and then obviously goes, oh, actually no. And then it just looked very awkward, suplex him.
Yeah, it did look a bit strange, but...
It was different, so I didn't mind it,
yeah.
but the setup for it was weird. And then JYD locks in an abdominal stretch, but Race hip tosses out. Falling headbutt has no effect on JYD, who whips Race to the corner and out to the floor.
Yeah.
Did you see the way that Race hit the ropes and went over the buckles to the floor?
Yeah.
Remind you of anything or anyone?
Many people.
One specifically who always does it in this way.
What, Ric Flair?
No, Flair does the upside down.
That's the one. Yeah, no, I know. Oh, fuck. Who is it? Just tell me.
I think you know
yes.
who I am.
Yes.
Yeah, Triple H very much took that from Harley Race. That, do you know what? The cough helps with that one. That wasn't bad. Yeah. So yeah, Triple H put that in his repertoire.
That's quite similar to Randy.
No, see, Randy's ooh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it.
You have to. Whereas Triple
You've
H
got an
is
undertone.
and Triple H you have to say at the end of everything.
Okay.
Like I'm a professional. Honestly, it's just like I said. There will be people that do it better than me. I'm doing it for my own entertainment. Well, and Holly's entertainment because you should see her face. Headbutts on all fours before.
I don't like that move.
No, you don't. But he's a dog. Headbutts on all fours before Heenan distracts JYD on the apron.
Fuck off.
Don't you dare say that about my Bobby Heenan.
It's just the distractions.
Oh,
From
no.
this point onwards,
You'll love him on
it
commentary.
really pisses me off.
Race then hits a standard belly-to-belly suplex and, surprisingly, the win.
Yeah.
So, JYD now has to kneel. He curtsies, then cracks the king with a padded chair.
Of course.
Fully expected to see a blade here for some reason.
Yeah.
But no.
No.
Not a good match, I'd go as far as saying. What would you score it out of 5?
0.5.
1 star.
Okay. Turn up.
I would lean towards you, to be fair on that.
Yeah.
Maybe split the difference, 0.75.
Again, for me, it's another match. I continue to do this. Another match that the crowd didn't like the ending of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the end they did, because JYD did whatever he did. But another ending where the crowd openly boos.
Yep.
As it shall continue.
We now go to the second and last time that we see Vince McMahon.
This was
on the
exhausting.
Vince interviewing WWF champion Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
So Hulk rips his shirt as he goes mental, saying Andre will have to face the truth. Very intense. Except when he said, "When I finished hanging and banging, dude." What are you talking about?
I've got take a shot every time he says dude, brother, or man.
Yeah, but it's the... When I've finished... If you didn't catch that, when I finished hanging and banging, dude.
Oh, hey.
Okay.
Saturday night, those.
I forget he's a hippie. That's basically all I got out of this promo.
I've just written that Vince's face in this. That's why I'm laughing. Vince's face in this whole promo is exactly what mine was doing, trying to concentrate and listen. Like his brow is furrowed, and his face is like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, but to me as
but
well.
It's good. It's a good response on telly.
Vince looking at Hogan, you can see if you peel back a few of the layers of the onion.
Definitely turning.
Not only that, he's looking at him going, "I'd fuck you."
Oh, okay.
Like there's like a proper
Do you
little.
think that's what's going on there?
Vince likes his beefy boys. We know that.
And he did. Hulk did the old "What you gonna do?"
Yes.
Which again, I like that.
Yeah. I'm saving the voice for the next promo. We go to a match, and again, it's one of those weird formatted ones. So the Rougeau brothers are introduced in the ring.
Yes.
And then we go to
they
an
don't
interview.
get an entrance.
But the match is the Rougeau brothers versus the Dream Team with Luscious Johnny and Dino Bravo in their corner. Mean Gene interviews the Dream Team, asking why Dino is needed. Harsh but fair question.
Very fair.
This is what Luscious Johnny said. I wrote down the whole promo as I heard it. "Let me tell you something, Mr. Curiosity. The Dream Team is going to make a miracle here, baby. And they're going to go down, do so the Russo brothers, and scrambled eggs, Grandma."
Stop. I mean, it's not English. Like, it makes no sense.
So I listened back to that 7 times.
Okay.
Em was in the room with me for one of them, and I said, "I'm going to play this. You tell me what the fuck they say here."
Yeah.
Played it, and then went, "Oh, no." So I'll read back what I put.
Yes.
"Let me tell you something, Mr. Curiosity. The Dream Team is going to raise a miracle here, baby. And they're going to go down and do so the Rougeau brothers, and then scrambled eggs, Grandma." Scrambled eggs, Grandma. I swear to God, I'm not even. I think honestly, he says that.
No, I'm pretty sure he does as well.
Scrambled eggs, Grandma.
What the fuck?
But it's just, and everyone's there like.
Unless he's putting his lunch order in.
What I don't understand. Oh, his grandma's well dead at that point, I'm sure. But they're all with him. He's talking shit, and they're like nodding, smiling next to him, like, yeah, this is a sane man.
Yeah, it's like they've got a tombola of words.
Tombola, yeah.
Of words, and they've just picked out a couple and gone, yeah, put them in a sentence.
Yeah, but it wasn't a sentence, it was just a list of words. It was a shopping list of bollocks.
Honestly. Exhausting.
Yeah, I'll be honest on that one, I wasn't going for the voice, but I just needed the intensity of the nonsense that came out of him.
It's like sometimes they think if they just shout and have a bit of emphasis behind them, people don't actually listen to what they're saying.
Which is why Jake Roberts was
very good. Very good.
We learn the ringside assistants at this point are called the Federettes.
Yes. I thought they were a Ringo, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I didn't care either way.
Just,
putting a name to it.
They're not doing a lot either, so it's fine.
Putting a name to it makes it worse, weirdly.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. And then we hear Gorilla come out with one of his favourite phrases, a fountain of misinformation. I like that. That's not the word I've written there. An early exchange sees Ray Rougeau escape out the back door.
Yes, always out the back door.
And hit an atomic drop on Brutus, who Gorilla will continue to call Brutai.
Yes, I liked his leggings. They're a bit fancy.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you liked something about him, because let's take a moment to discuss one of the filthiest mullets of all time on Beefcake.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
For a haircut that is never a good look, ever a good look, this is at the bad end of that. How can you... It's the shittest form of a mullet I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Okay.
Bar none. I was offended.
By the hair.
Honest to God. But, like, he went, yeah, can we do this haircut? The boss like, yeah, sure.
It was the end of the day. Barbara was tired.
Yeah, he doesn't
He just wanted to get home.
But have some self-respect, man. I mean, like, my hair's not great, but fuck, I'd shave it before I do that. Jacques tugged.
Oh, hey.
No. Hello. He's got a tash as well. Jacques tagged in. No, he's not. That's Raymond. Jacques tagged in, and the Rougeaus hit a double drop kick.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. These guys don't get separated either. They're just brothers in my notes because it's quicker.
Yeah, because Rougeaus is a bit French Canadian.
Autocorrect constantly changed that.
Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we just put brothers.
So for your benefit, Jacques is the one without a tash. Raymond's the one with the moustache. After the double drop kick, Valentine is now tagged in. Mm-hmm. The Hammer and Jacques exchange rights before another quick tag to Raymond. I thought everyone loved him.
Oh.
There we go.
My God.
Very creative crossbody sequence here. I don't really know how to describe it. There's a lot of drop downs, leapfrogs, and then it kind of hit. Jacques back in with a flying back elbow, and a cover gets two. Springboard crossbody misses. Hammer with two elbow drops and a body slam before tagging Brutus. Mm-hmm. Beefcake unloads with stomps. Military press by Brutus was pretty good, actually. Yeah. And Valentine jumps off from the top rope with a forearm, which was... I don't know what that double team move is supposed to be. I think they just winged it as they went along.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Because they didn't... The moves aren't... They don't have any threads that can be tied together.
No, they're not linkable to me.
The only way you could do it, and it's a bit dangerous, is if, as Hammer hits him in the back of the neck, that's when he's then pressed to the side. Whereas it's not really what happened. He just got hit in the neck, Brutus held him for a bit, moved, and then dropped him. Mm. Bit awkward, but interesting. It was something different for me to see, which I'll take. He then actually turned it into like a backbreaker, didn't he? So he didn't really military press him. It was a bit messy.
Bit odd.
Figure 4 leg lock by Valentine as Heenan jumps onto commentary, and now I'm really happy.
No, I was not, though.
Why?
Purely because this really hurts my brain. I'm watching a match, but you're talking about the one we've just seen. My brain can't... If it's something I know, it's fine, but I'm trying to make notes on what I'm watching here, but then all I'm also hearing is something else, and so I should have effectively watched that bit twice. Yeah. But, nah, not happening.
If it helps, I didn't write down anything specifically other than Bobby Heenan saying how he was 2 for 2 on the night. Mm-hmm. So, and Gorilla said, well, you're not actually 2 for 2, are you? He said, you got a win, and the other one was a draw.
Yes.
And he said, yeah, but he couldn't escape the lock, so I'm counting that as a win. Mm-hmm. So we're going 3 for 3 for the night.
Impressed how he got up there so quickly, I'll be honest.
Oh, he's puffing out his arse.
Yeah.
You hear him? Yeah. Bless him. Jacques reaches the ropes to break the hold.
Mm-hmm.
Jacques then reverses out of a pile driver and tags in his brother. Ray unloads on Greg and connects with a back body drop.
Yeah.
Sleeper hold applied, and Brutus tries to break it up with an axe handle, but mistakenly hits Valentine.
Yes.
Duel.
I just felt, okay, this is stupid.
Yep. Double team sees Greg get a mouthful of scrotum on a seated senton.
I like to call that the flying crotch.
The flying crotch. I just said mouthful of scrotum, so.
And, right, sorry, and I may have just completely interrupted you with what you said. I've just written the flying flipping neck, the flying crotch, and then distraction, and the guy in the Canada jacket does something, and I'm so confused. My brain hurts.
The ref gets distracted now after the mouthful of scrotum. Bravo climbs to the top and lands a big fist drop as Ray is pinning Greg.
Okay.
Dino then drags the hammer over on top, and the ref makes the count of 3.
Yeah.
Brutus looks really pissed off, and then he's left behind by the team.
Sad. Very sad. And again, this is another match. The crowd are not happy with how this ended.
Yes.
And I see what's going on here. I see what we're doing here.
Did you notice as well? So Brutus has been on each of the WrestleManias we've watched. He was in the tag match with the Bulldogs last Mania. He was in a one-on-one with David Sammartino, the first WrestleMania. So he's one of the ever-presents that we're seeing so far. All the shows he's been a heel so far.
Yeah. Now we're seeing him turn.
Potentially
because,
change.
You know.
Maybe we see something later.
Maybe what happens later.
Maybe we see something. Right, star rating.
2... 3, 2... 2.25.
1.5.
Fine.
I would give it a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was better than some of the other stuff that we'd seen.
Yes.
So, on that basis alone, that's getting a 2 for me.
I like the brothers. Fun. Quite like them.
Yeah, Raymond would eventually go onto the French commentary team.
Oh, really?
For WWE.
Interesting.
And the younger brother, Jacques, became a very well-known early 90s character in the WWF called the Mountie.
Okay.
I don't think you'll have ever seen any of the Mountie's work. You know what a Mountie is, though?
I do know what a Mountie is, yes.
So he's literally dressed as that.
Yeah.
But in Canada, legal reasons he couldn't do it, so he had to go under his real name and take some of the gear off. Yeah, but in the States there was no requirement to change that name.
Interesting.
We then go to a package of Adrian Adonis and Roddy Piper. So it's a flower shop segment.
I don't understand half of this stuff.
Yeah, so the flower shop was one of Adrian Adonis's interview spots.
Oh, okay.
There he smacked Piper with a vase, then struck his knee with a chair. Mm-hmm. You then see Piper going mad afterwards.
Like a kid throwing a strop because he doesn't want to get dressed because he's in a t-shirt and pants.
Very
just
much
always
so.
makes me smile.
Jimmy Hart slapped Hot Rod on Piper's pit. Roddy lifts him by the neck but is jumped again by Adonis. It really doesn't seem like much of a feud's been built here, but it's confirmed that it's a hair versus hair match.
Oh, yeah.
And either way, it's Roddy Piper's
retirement in quotation match. Also, we get the WrestleMania screen for a bit longer than we like at this point, so we miss half of what is going on.
Yes.
It just comes up on the screen, and I'm like, okay.
I forgot about that. That was just a bad transition, I think.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Because they don't try and cover anything up, I don't think.
No, just a bit odd. But Piper's, the ones I've seen, Piper's promos make me stressed.
Yeah. So, the match.
Uh-huh.
Adrian Adonis with Jimmy Hart. Let's remember the name Jimmy Hart.
You can fuck off.
From this moment, shall we? As he takes on Roddy Piper in the hair versus hair match.
Yes.
Adonis must have hoped he was losing. He looks like a female darts player trying to win a speedboat on Bullseye.
Awful. So bad. So bad. But I'm happier he looks like this than he was last time I saw him.
Yeah, that WrestleMania 2 match with Uncle Elmer was shocking.
No, awful.
Piper walks to the ring because he's a fucking Donny. I
really liked that they let him walk out effectively. If this is meant to be his retirement match, I thought very good, nice.
But I just like the fact that it suits his character. He goes, I'm not going in a motorised ring anyway. So yeah,
fair.
Then we hear Jesse say, we'll either see Bald Scott or Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, yes.
On commentary.
Yes.
I was like, no, we saw Humpty Dumpty. He crushed a midget earlier. That was pretty much what happened there.
Yeah.
This line broke me for about 5 minutes, I'll be honest, hearing Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
So I was like, just
Did you have
don't
to take
cough.
a little break?
Don't cough. I had to pause and was just like, don't cough. Don't cough. A wild exchange of right hands between the two, and I realised in 1987 public nudity must have been okay, as Adrian's tits fly in every which direction.
Honestly.
Hot Rod whips with a belt, but no DQ.
Thank you. I'm so glad you mentioned this. Was this okay because it was a hair versus
No.
hair match, or just because who gives a fuck?
Because they did it, and the ref was like, I can't disqualify you because that's not the end of the match.
No. Okay, so it wasn't right.
No.
Okay, I was so confused.
So the ref just... But basically, you know, if you're the ref in that situation, I think it might have been Dave Hebner, I'd be annoyed, going, because I'm blatantly watching you do this, I know that I can't end it here now, but you've made me look a twat because my hands are tied.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really bad. Like, now the referees have the directive to, if it happens, you have to call it.
Yeah.
And then we'll deal with the fallout afterwards.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's when you see...
Because otherwise it makes a bit of a mockery.
2,
Like...
oh my god, oh, they've kicked out. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because you didn't put your hand down.
Yeah.
Annoys me. Jimmy Hart, second mention of the night. Keep the tallies going on this man. He's choked with the belt, but Adonis strikes Piper from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Adonis now with the belt, and he lights up Piper.
Yes.
Hot Rod is getting great fan reaction here. Like,
so good.
Electric.
Yes.
Really, really good. Reversal on a whip by Piper sends Adonis over the turnbuckles.
Mm-hmm.
Great athleticism by the big man. I don't care what you say.
It actually was. No, I agree.
This is what I was trying to convey to you last time. I was like,
There's always something.
He could move around the ring. Like against Uncle Elmer, that was just unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
he can do it. As Hot Rod drags Adrian back in the ring, Hart is pulled in too because he was holding onto his hand from the outside, so he gets dragged in with momentum. And we see a double noggin knocker.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favourite, again, from the Gorilla Monsoon era. Piper whips Hart into Adonis, and they both go sailing to the floor.
Yes.
Fun spot, and again, great by Adonis.
Yeah.
Because he had to catch Hart, go over the back, not kill Hart, and land on the floor. And it was perfect. Hot Rod throws a flurry of big punches in the corner, which looked 1,000 times more believable than the shit show that was against Mr. T at the WrestleMania before.
Yes.
Why the fuck Jimmy Hart climbs the turnbuckles, only God and himself will know.
No.
But he gets launched onto Adonis.
Fine.
And again, Adonis...
I was okay with that.
Yeah. But I don't...
What's he trying to achieve
Hart took
by
more
going up
bumps
there?
in this match than Piper did.
Yeah.
But when... Like, all the other bits, I understood.
Yeah.
Why are you climbing the turnbuckles?
Yeah,
There's never a time when a manager... Especially
No.
a manager who's a non-combatant manager.
I also feel like I could catch him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a waif.
Yeah, I've had more difficulty catching colds than I've catching him. He features... I'm glad you mentioned the waif comment, because there's a moment later on in the show which he involves in, and I've got some comments on that as well. So, after he's been thrown, he gets launched onto Adonis. Hart then trips Piper up shortly thereafter. Clothesline by the big man on Hot Rod, but Piper pokes in the eyes. I love a Piper where he kind of just goes...
Yeah.
Like, it's very deliberate and subtle. The only person who's done that recently, and it annoys me because I like the move, but they don't do anything for me, is Randy Orton. I've seen him do that.
Okay.
But Hot Rod for me. Pokes to the eyes, to the floor, and Hot Rod goes face first into the timekeeper's table.
Oh, yeah.
Cheap shot by Hart on the floor. Back in the ring, and Piper beckons Adonis to bring it on. Hart again involved as he sprays Piper in the eyes eventually.
Honestly.
Good night, Irene, locked in on Piper.
Yeah, I was waiting for where that was coming.
In a very dumb move, Adonis releases the hold before Piper's arm falls for a third time.
Of course.
Holly, if you will.
Asleep. Awake!
Yes. Or is he?
Wow.
Because when he releases the hold...
Wow.
As Hart and Adonis prematurely celebrate, Brutus appears and revives Piper, who twats Jimmy Hart.
Good.
Adonis swings shears at Hot Rod in attempted murder, but then bashes them off himself after hitting the ropes. You're holding blades, mate. Sleeper by Piper, and Adonis passes out. Clearly doesn't, because he's just blown out his ear.
But also, he's just being jiggled around here. It's literally like just ragdolling around. There's no hold. It's just, I'm just going to jiggle you from side to side. Oh, dear.
Oh, honestly. Brutus then shaves Adonis's head because Adonis has passed out.
Is the slowest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And this, Holly, is how Brutus Beefcake became Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
So that's why he then started coming out with the shears, doing the cutting people.
I mean, the clippers do fuck all. Like, they should have got him some better graded ones.
Honestly, awful.
And then they just went, fuck this, and gave him some proper scissors.
Yep.
I was like, just give him them in the first place.
I like the fact that someone's just stood there with scissors, ready for this. Wish Brutus clipped his own hair too. Mm-hmm. Adonis goes and punches a mirror. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Also, 7 years bad luck.
That is not something I would ever be doing.
To be fair, in 7 years, I'm pretty sure he was dead.
Oh.
Fan then jumps into the ring.
Oh, that's when that is, yes.
Hugs Piper and then gets swarmed by security.
I did think
Piper
it was a little chaotic.
Because Piper's like seeing his face like, am I in danger? Like the first look across him is like, what's going on here? And then he goes, oh, yeah, shake my hand. And then you see it zooms out and then boom, the security team hit the kid. What would you give this match as a star rating? I understand it, what it's got here, but I don't agree with it.
I don't know. I want to give it a higher rating than the one before, even though... No, it was a better match, I think. I just really struggled to go over 2.5 here, but that's because I'm prejudging it by what I would give today's. So I'll give it a 3, I think.
3.5.
Oh, that's very generous.
Yeah, I think it's very generous as well. I think 3's quite generous. I'd say 2.75.
I think also for me, the more points came from the fact that I liked it. And again, I know why they've done this. The crowd liked the result of this match. Therefore, your reactions are better because all the ones before they haven't agreed with.
Yep.
And also, yeah, if he's gone away for a little while, love that. Nice. Give him his moment. He went off to do his acting, didn't he? And then,
yes, he did. Oh, you looked it up.
Of course I did. Because I was... Well, no, I didn't look much up because they obviously say, it's the last time we're going to see him in the squared circle. And I sat there and I went, but I've seen him. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't watching, obviously, at this point because, I think being born might have been an issue.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, definitely. So he didn't retire. And then it said that he went off to do acting full time. And then I sat there and I went, okay. But again, I won't have seen anything that he's been in anyway.
Yeah,
so.
He did quite a bit of acting, to be fair. He did a few films for sure. He even did he cameos in an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia as a wrestler.
I haven't got that far yet, as we know.
Well, you're on episode 2, is it?
It looks old. I can't watch
it. Now this has shown that you can do it, so it's really good.
Okay.
I think 3.5 is overly generous on this.
Generous.
I think the crowd reaction probably carried it, and
I
guess if Meltzer thinks that is the last time we're seeing a Piper match, maybe that factored into the decision as well.
Yes.
Right, now we've got Monsoon, Hart and Yuka. The sentence that comes out of Gorilla Monsoon's mouth immediately is, talk about a happening. This has been a happening. At least it's more accurate than the first time he said it when the show hadn't even bloody started.
True.
Gorilla Monsoon, an absolute articulate finest right there. Mary says it's odd to call a grown man gorilla. She's not wrong.
No.
And he looks at her like, well, you've just killed the business.
Yeah.
Mary, that's the whole... If we start unravelling everything
I actually
in wrestling...
really liked her because I think she does come out with some lines that I'm like, yeah.
She's good at thinking on her feet as well because she was the talk show host.
Yes.
So I think that was very evident in her abilities. And Bob Uecker, Mr. Baseball, as we learn later in the show, very entertaining, actually, in this environment. Really good.
Out of everyone they've had so far,
Elvira, your spirit animal.
Oh no, I liked her. She was brilliant. But these two, her especially, really enjoyed. Yeah.
Ventura's then introduced to the crowd, and this is where I noticed his attire. So he'd taken off...
Okay.
Had he taken off his... No, he hadn't taken off his coat and everything, had he? But I noticed something.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that too. Didn't think it was odd though.
A little jewel buried in the arsehole of his chin. How do you not think that's odd?
Just thought it was a piercing, I'll be honest.
I'm pretty sure he had something shoved in there.
Oh, okay.
Literally, I've got a hole.
Oh, I did see it. Yeah, I saw it, especially when he was on commentary. I did see it.
I didn't see it then.
I just went with it.
It went with his whole thing.
Yeah, it did.
Baffling. Danny Davis. Ventura introduced to the crowd. I thought they were going to make an announcement about how many people were there. Mm-hmm. They didn't. But I think they were trying to make a point. I realised why with the match that follows, why he was actually brought down there.
Yes.
But also, he had been in a film around this time. So you're looking into acting, and I know you know the film.
Oh, do I?
Have you seen the film Predator?
Yeah.
Ain't got time to bleed.
Oh, shit.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. With Carl Weathers and everyone else in that.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jesse the Body Ventura was
Wow.
the big star in that film.
Oh.
He even mentions it in commentary.
Oh, my God.
Later on, he doesn't say the film, he said, are you looking forward to seeing me on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So here we see Danny Davis, who will be making his professional debut, having been banned for life plus 10 years as a referee. Banning for life's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the whole American legal system, isn't it? I get it, when you see someone that they've killed, let's say, 10 people.
Right.
And then they go, you're in prison for life.
Yeah.
But they'll go, you've got 4 life sentences to serve, plus 50 years.
Well, just life is life.
Well, it's life is, exactly.
Life is life.
It's
But
like,
life is not life, though, in those situations, is it? Even in the UK prison system, life is 30 years, not actual life.
True, it just seems like you're adding fanciful numbers in there that are never achievable.
Yeah.
And also, having just been battered for 10 minutes, Jimmy Hart stays out for 2 straight matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must have been sick of the sight of this man by now.
Yes. It just gets worse.
Oh, it really does.
Mm-hmm.
Really does. And also in this interview segment, I don't know if you spotted this, 3 of the 4 men being interviewed are wearing sunglasses.
Yes.
Holly, how are you feeling?
Inside. Mm-hmm. No.
Also, the way that they were standing, Jimmy Hart couldn't be seen, just heard in the background.
I know, very odd.
One of his better promos, actually. Maybe it's when he thinks the camera's not on him, he can be more himself.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a bit odd, because you kind of... It's like I imagined him to start jumping, like, up and down in the background, but...
No, you just saw his, like, barnet, just about.
The coiffed hair.
So, knowing that you'd be fully annoyed, hopefully your mood will improve as the Bulldogs and Tito make their way to the ring, and Matilda immediately goes after Jimmy.
Yeah.
So...
Doggo's vapid.
I wonder why Matilda would go after Jimmy Hart. I wonder what about the fuzzy, squeaky, sparkly prick attracted the dog in the first instance.
The fact he's probably holding dog treats as well.
We may never know. The Hart Foundation sent crashing into each other before the match even begins.
Yeah, weird. I was actually really looking forward to this one.
Because of the Bulldogs at WrestleMania 2?
Yes, and also the Hart Foundation. I could just watch those 2, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's get rid of Tito and Danny Davis.
Don't need that.
So I think they mentioned in the story about Danny Davis had cost both Tito and the Bulldogs the title.
Yes.
In various guises. I didn't realise, actually, Randy... Because Randy was obviously the Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania 2. Was the Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania 3. I didn't realise there was a period there where he didn't have the title. But obviously Tito had it.
Oh, of course. And then that's how he... lost it, right?
By
bad reffing.
Yes, which is why he was banned.
Yeah. I was worried that the dog was going to end up staying in the ring because the dog's just there. And then they start fighting and literally I'm there going, someone get the dog out. But our guy is there, he takes the dog out. That's his
Jesse
job.
Ventura was there because someone needed to be
Someone's
there
got to take the dog.
Back. The Hart Foundation and Danny Davis with Jimmy Hart versus the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana with Matilda. Not really, because I didn't realise she was going then. So Davis is press slammed to the floor directly on top of the foundation immediately, like that.
Yeah, fine.
Santana unloads with rights to Brett in the corner. Brett looks to go up and over, but is face planted. Quite an interesting counter there.
Yeah.
This is where we see Matilda taken backstage.
Yeah.
And she's being carried by Jessie like she's a live bomb that could go off at any moment.
Yeah, I was like, that's not how you carry a doggo.
You've got a lead, put the dog next to you and
just
stroke
don't have to
it.
carry him at all. But
no, this is manly.
Then they're not in the camera, you see.
True.
And what is her name? I've forgotten it already. The lady on the mic. I love that she sits there and has to explain. Can we just be aware I'm not related to Jimmy Hart?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So at one point I might like to have been associated with him, but definitely not now. Davey Boy and the Anvil square off with the Bulldog getting the better of it. Tito back in, but the Foundation take advantage and wail on Santana in the corner. Leapfrog by Santana and Davey Boy is back in. Big back body drop by the Bulldog on Anvil. Neidhart tags Brett and body slams Davey Boy. Brett then takes flight from the second rope with an elbow that misses.
Of course it does.
See, Bret Hart was often known as Mr. Middle Rope. One of his key moves in his sequence of doom leading to the end of a match. He would stand on the middle rope and then he'd land like a forearm on the head of the person lying down.
Oh,
so
right.
when I saw him go up there, I went, oh, we're about to see it.
Oh, I see.
He throws the elbow, I went, oh, okay. Dynamite in and pulls Brett off the canvas by his hair. That looked quite brutal.
Also enjoying the Union Jack pants just before we go any further.
Bit of patriotism. Go on, up the boys.
Hey.
Hart sent Sternum first into the turnbuckles, and I love that. How he sells it when he goes chest first into that and then just comes down and he looks like he has no wind in him.
Yes.
It was a classic Bret Hart spot that he did throughout his career, and it always looked devastating.
Yeah.
It really made the other person look brilliant. Also begs the question of why no one else did that.
That's true, actually.
Because does that mean that... Because Brett Selvit was phenomenal, but does he also not look stupid because he's the only one that runs into it chest first?
That's true, actually. And also, but logically, it would make more sense to run into it chest first, because otherwise you're running and turning. Well, if you've got time to turn, you've got time to stop.
Yes.
Interesting.
There you go. But there's just unspoken things in wrestling that you know has to happen. Clothesline and falling headbutt connect.
I don't like them. They're boring. I've seen 20 of them so far.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Brett comes back with a series of rights in the corner.
Yeah.
Anvil back in and loosely puts a camel clutch, I guess, applied on the Dynamite.
I guess so. Also, again, I'm going to go interrupt and talk about what they're wearing.
Please do.
Heart Foundation, all in pink. Love it. Love it.
Real men wear pink.
Really good. Just letting you know that I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and a nice contrast.
Exactly.
There you go. Double team point to the elbow by the Foundation. Good heat on Davis, who lands 2 kicks before tagging back out.
Yeah.
That was quite good.
Clever.
Foundation making quick tags as they continue to beat down Dynamite. Davis back in now. 2 more kicks and he's back out again.
It's annoying, but it works.
Yeah, it really does.
It really works.
Next time he tags back in, the Foundation slingshot him over the ropes, but he lands on Dynamite's knees.
I enjoyed that a lot.
I did. Thought it was good.
Yeah.
Different. Tito gets the hot tag and the crowd are losing it.
Yeah.
Back body drop to Davis and a flying forearm connect before Santana just slugs away at him like he has had money stolen from him. He is beating his ass. Figure 4 attempted, but Anvil clotheslines him from behind.
This, to me, all got very quick, very fast, and I actually had to rewind it and watch it again because I was very confused.
Wow, okay. Davey Boy then gets the tag.
Yeah.
Clothesline to Davis, followed by a leaping tombstone. That was great. Suplex on a dead weight Danny. Because I don't think Danny knows how to tighten the core to then, said like I do, to take the suplex. Gets a 2. Running power slam connects, and then it falls apart as a brawl. Of course, that's obviously going to happen at some point, because why would it not in a tag match? Well, this bit must have really...
This got paused many a time.
So Davis is then given the Mouth of the South loudspeaker.
Yeah.
Davis then hits Davey Boy with it, the megaphone, makes the cover. This one is over.
Stupid. But, again, another match. We've had our one the crowd loved. Now we go back down and we get a result that the crowd don't want. Because what are we building for? Is
this turning into a Holly formula? No, it's not quite.
No, because it's low, 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 up, low, low, low. Yeah. I got to this point and I thought, okay, this is... If I was in the crowd, it would annoy me. But it means that when the result is good, the noise, to me, is just amplified.
Yes, but you also run the risk of people going, oh, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, true.
What would you give this match out of 5?
So I was really looking forward to this, but I just can't be fucking bothered with the interference and it just winds me up. But I'm still going to give it a 3.5.
2.75.
Oh, okay.
I would have said 2.753. Yeah. Is about right for this.
Okay.
I would have docked it down specifically because of the ending.
Yeah, the ending was also very quick for me as well. Like, it was all over. I really want to see this, and I think that's probably why I've made it higher. But I want to see it again without all the other shit in the way.
They did have some great matches between the two, for sure, around this era. But yeah, just the ending was it was a mess.
Chaos.
And so I would have marked it down on that, personally.
Yep.
We now see Gene interviewing Andre and Heenan. Now, Andre looks stoic. He looks genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
Like a mob boss as Heenan hypes up his band. the Giant means business. Because normally he's happy, smiling.
Yeah, he's stony-faced.
This year it is that Heenan... Oh, sorry. This is the year that Heenan's turn to raid Elton John's tuxedo closet with what that number he was wearing. Very sparkly, Bobby.
Yeah.
And then Gorilla comes with a very clever, unintentional... Well, no, not very clever because he fucked it up. He tried to say Bobby the Brain Heenan, but he actually said Bobby the Brain Heelin. Yeah, he was Heelin. That's his job. He sure was Gorilla. This match. Butch Reed with Slick versus Coco Beware with Frankie.
If I was allowed to drink right now, I would have drunk many times in this match.
You wouldn't have had much opportunity.
Honestly, though, I fucking would have. I'd have synced my drinks, but alas.
Well, leads me on to my first thing.
Yeah.
Holly, what are your thoughts on the Birdman?
I don't like birds.
Frankie, just chilling at ringside.
But gets a nice close up on camera.
Oh, that gets mentioned.
It's a nice little look down the lens.
After a few false starts, Reed pounds away on Coco against the ropes. The Birdman dodges an attack and drop kicks Butch over the top rope to the floor. Back in the ring, and Coco connects with a big right hand off a whip.
Yeah.
Reed clubs Coco's head.
This is parrot time.
Sorry, he clubs Coco's head off a second whip. The camera gets close to Frankie, who comically stares right back into
Isn't it hilarious? It's like a cocked head.
Yeah.
Look right into the camera, and I was like, that is... I'd
More
rather watch
entertaining.
that. I'd rather watch that.
Okay. Say that bit again. You'd rather what?
Watch that.
Okay. Quite honestly, the Birdwatch is more interesting than this match. Word for word.
Yes.
It is dire. Thumb to the throat by Butch.
Yeah.
Reversal by the Birdman into a hip toss. Big left jabs and a drop kick get a 2 count. Small package.
Oh, always. I don't care if the match is shit. I'll still smile when I hear a small package shouted over commentary.
By Coco gets a 2 as well. Running crossbody connects by the Birdman, but Reed rolls through and holds on for the 3. Slick attack. Right, before we get to the rating of it, so Slick attacks Coco with his cane.
Yes.
That's a sentence.
Yeah.
Tito appears
Why?
and starts ripping Slick's suit. So, what is it about Tito Santana that feels like he needs to get involved with every injustice at a WrestleMania for a face? Do you remember him coming out for Junkyard Dog?
Yeah, this was why I got confused. And I was like, am I missing something here? Because we're just watching the WrestleMania, like we're not watching a build-up. And then I just sat there and I was like, no, I don't understand why he's out here again. Like,
Not only that, okay, why does this goon do this at every Mania? Also, it's a long way to the ring. Are we supposed to believe that he sprinted that distance in that time to get there? Or
Because
did he just hang around after the match?
No, yeah, he's definitely just have a seat, have a sit a minute.
Oh.
It just also wasn't needed.
No, I didn't think so either. I mean, the match wasn't needed. The Frankie look into the camera, excellent.
That's funny.
I
wonder
think Frankie
if this was
died recently.
Drink break match.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm
In
pretty
my
sure
eyes.
Frankie the Bird died fairly
that's
recently.
sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah, I didn't know who any of these people were. I did a little Googling and all it told me was that, is it the Birdman?
Yeah.
Was
Coco
inducted into Hall of Fame in 2009. That's it. That's all I've discovered.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, why is he in the Hall of Fame?
No, I don't understand.
Because he was basically a big character. That was it. But
okay.
he never really did anything. He had an interesting team with Owen Hart in the very early 90s, late 80s called High Energy. They were quite good, but outside of that, no, not good. Okay. What would you score this match?
0.5.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah, correct. Correct on both counts. Correct, that's what
And
Dave
for
Meltzer
you?
gave it, and correct is what I think.
It was a filler. It was, to me, like, it was a filler match. Rather than have an interval, like, you're having this. Go get your beers, go to the loo, come back.
It filled something, that's for sure. We now see a Savage and Steamboat package.
Don't we just?
So you heard the monologue that I sent to you. The only other match that I referenced, apart from the main event in it,
Yes.
is this match. So you must have had some sort of anticipation or expectation of how this was going to land.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was quite looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Having seen them briefly, I suppose.
Okay.
In other situs and crowd reactions to them both.
Yeah. In the package, we see Randy crush Steamboat's throat on the guardrail, and then with a ring bell. A porno doctor then says he's amazed at the Dragon's power of recuperation.
I'm so glad you said that. So glad, because I was
He's not
just
wearing
like,
clothes under there.
there's nothing underneath his
He's got a gold
jacket.
chain.
He's got to film his porno after he's done
Yeah,
that package.
he was using his thermometer to test this woman's like the old-fashioned way of doing things. Yeah.
Oh.
Savage says he'll retire the dragon,
Mm-hmm.
and he is the Lord and the Master of the Ring.
Of course, in his Technicolor dream coat.
Indeed, very much so. So Randy Savage, having sent Elizabeth to the Isle about an hour and a half ago, now actually comes out to the ring for the match. So Randy Savage with Elizabeth versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Pomp and Circumstance is so befitting for the Macho Man. That song. It's great. It so works for the character. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. With Savage now in the ring, we know the deal here. We're going to see...
we go back to...
Yeah. Ricky actually cuts a very good and intense promo for the standard of what he normally does.
Yeah. Until I got well confused at the end when he's cut off by his own music.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'd be honest, I've written that sentence and went, oh, they've cut him off. I went, we'll leave that. I see George the Animal Steele, and I'm reminded of how much WrestleMania 2 annoyed me.
Yeah, oh, he's so hairy.
He's very hirsute.
Ugh. So in the build-up as well, it was the whole... Wasn't there the quotation marks coming? Kidnap of Elizabeth.
He was rescuing Elizabeth because he actually cared for her.
Yes, and there's someone in commentary that says, isn't it? Oh, at least someone that'll actually like look after her or something.
Yeah. She doesn't get a choice still.
Yeah, she's not allowed to say nothing.
No, she has
just
no
has
choice.
to go with it.
It was like, would you like to be berated on the daily, or would you like to be put in with an equivalent of a chimp?
Honestly,
if they're your choices, I don't know what that says about you. Now here we go.
Yes.
This is the match. Lock up and push off.
Sorry.
This deserves clean audio. Do you know what? No. But I will start again.
Sorry.
It's alright. Lock up and push off. Second attempt and Dragon throws Savage off. Macho Man jumps to the outside and basically directs Elizabeth away from the animal. I thought that was quite good because she was veering too near to where he was.
Is that what that was? Because in commentary they just say, oh, she was standing in the wrong place. And I was like, what? Was she? But that's close to the animal. That's what they're applying.
Back in and Dragon ducks a back elbow and hits two beautiful deep arm drags. Steamboat grabs Savage by the neck and powers him off the canvas, throwing him to the floor. The Dragon chases, but is... Or goes straight... Sorry, what? The Dragon chases, but is caught... Oh, sorry, there you go. The Dragon chases, but is caught by Savage back in the ring. Clothesline follows.
Yep.
The ref forces Randy off him in the corner, and the following charge is avoided. Steamboat begins working over Savage's arm before Macho Man catches him with an elbow. Dragon is thrown to the floor. Savage kicks Steamboat and prevents him returning. As much as I enjoy the match, there's a lot of going to the outside.
Oh, isn't there? Isn't there just?
Savage elbows the throat and kicks him off the apron. He then drags Dragon over and back in. Knee to the throat gets a 2. Steamboat reverses Savage and sends him face first into the buckles. Savage gets tied up in the ropes and unloads. Savage gets tied up in the ropes and unloads, or gets unloaded on, I should say.
Yeah.
Running crossbody then gets a 2.
Yes.
A couple of very quick falls between both men. Running knee by Macho Man to the back, and he sends the Dragon over the ropes.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What, over the ropes from the knee?
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
No, it's just one of those moves that makes me go,
Okay.
Just a personal preference.
The skin the cat then fails as Ricky goes to do it, and Savage goes, I'm not having this.
Yes.
Wipes him out. On the floor, Savage hits a second running knee, and Steamboat sails over the table and into the crowd.
Absolutely flying. Very good.
I like that.
Very good.
It was like he was being a drink that was served in a bar.
Yes, that slid.
Yes, slid straight
along
across.
the bar. Yeah, really good.
The animal then helps Dragon into the ring, but Savage throws him right back out on the opposite side. I didn't mind that, actually.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm just like, at this point, the ring might as well not be there.
From the top rope to the floor, double axe handle by Macho Man. Second time connects in the ring. Great guillotine over the top rope by Savage gets 2, as does an atomic drop. Suplex gets the same result. Dragon fires back but gets poked in the eyes. Gut wrench suplex gets 2. Dragon slips out the back door.
Aye.
Big back body drop sends Savage to the floor. Up top and a single axe handle by the Dragon. The ref counts 3 and the fans are going nuts, but Savage had got his foot on the ropes.
Yes.
So the fans thought this was over.
Yes.
And the whole time this match is going on, the crowd are intense.
Really good.
Really good atmosphere.
Really good.
A double chop gets 2.
Mm-hmm.
Savage's karate chop to the floor. They call it karate chop. There's no chops in karate.
No.
But, well, I guess... Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Back in and sunset flip from the Dragon eventually gets a 2.
Yeah, and it's like... So it's a sunset flip, and then I don't know how you describe that, but it's like I've got like an inner thigh slap around the face to break up the pin.
Brilliant.
I don't know what you would call that. But
So
again, it's not the one time they do it.
Yeah,
but it's just
smacking
like
the knees against the head, basically.
Yeah, that's probably more... Yeah.
A roll-up gets 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jackknife pin gets 2. Small package gets 2.
Hey.
Body
Pin,
slam.
Pin.
Slingshot to the post gets 2.
Yeah.
Dragon sent shoulder first into the ring post.
Mm-hmm.
Then a ref bump on a whip.
Oh, of course.
Clothesline to Steamboat, he goes down. Savage hits the elbow drop, but the ref is out.
There's no one there.
No one's there.
No one there.
Macho gets the bell, but Steel takes it off him. Boots the head for the animal for his troubles.
Of course.
Up top, and Savage is shoved by Steel and nearly lands on the ref. That's very good.
That was very good.
Very
yes.
good. Savage nearly does land on the ref, though. So
He
that
really did.
That was a readjustment last minute. Savage then picks Steamboat up for the body slam, but the Dragon reverses into a small package, and we see a new Intercontinental Champion. 1, 2, 3.
And, I mean, the crowd were already riotous, but again, this goes with my theory of crowd don't like the result. Crowd don't like the result. Hey, they love this one.
Yep.
I think they would have been entertained by this regardless, but for me, it sounded more... Oh, what is the word?
Relief?
Impactful.
Yeah.
Because they'd been unhappy about previous ones, that now they're finally getting one they want.
Makes sense.
Lovely.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to construct a show as well, if you're going to have so many shitty finishes.
Yeah.
So knowing that I'd kind of teed up this match for you a little bit, knowing that it was... I didn't say anything beyond the fact of what you heard in the monologues. I said it's a good match and considered by men to be one of the best. What was your takeaway? Because I know normally if you're built up on something, you tend to go, oh, actually...
No, I actually really enjoyed it. Yep. I mean, there were parts of it that I'd rather didn't happen, but that's just not necessarily this match. That's every match I ever watch. In and out of the ring more times than the hokey cokey.
Yep.
It's a bit annoying, but that's just a personal preference.
A little known fact that a wrestling ring was involved in the hokey cokey, yeah? That was...
Yeah. You know what I mean. But actually as a whole I really liked it, and I think also... Again, very similar to the other match, the crowd participation really impacts it for me. Because if I'm watching a match that I really enjoy but the crowd is dead, it proper does
bring you
change
down.
The impact.
Because you feel like a fool for liking it. Yeah.
Yeah. I sit there and I go, why do I like this and other people hate it? So
importantly, what would you score it?
Is this my favourite so far? Yeah, I'd probably give it a... this is very generous. 4.
4.5.
Really?
For the time, this was a very good match, and a lot of people thought it should have been a 5.
Yeah.
I actually agree with Dave.
Yeah.
Because if they took out a couple of the outside bits, which I feel like it didn't need... Other than the slide over the...
I love the table.
The table slide and then Savage throwing him out the other side. Yes. Even Savage moving Elizabeth, fine. Yeah. But the rest of it, I was like...
It wasn't necessary.
Yeah, it detracted more than it added. So I think 4.5 is actually a perfectly good score for this.
Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned, it's widely considered to be, certainly up to this point, the best WrestleMania match of all time.
Yeah, fine.
A lot of people would still argue it is.
Okay.
There's one that we see that I think eclipses it at WrestleMania 13. So when we get there, we'll have that. But interestingly, when Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is interviewed about this match, he likes it. He thinks it's a good match, but he doesn't rate it nearly as highly as everyone else does.
Okay.
Now, there's a story behind this.
Modest.
So when they were discussing the match beforehand, so obviously the wrestlers get together, discuss what they're going to do out there, and then a lot of it is winged. It was a different era, so it wasn't in the scripted WWE era. I don't know how much that's still in place now, but they kind of were given allowances to do what they wanted as long as they stuck to the time frame and whatever finish had been agreed. Ricky was a very good in-ring performer, and he was used to working off the fly. So a lot of his early work was done in NWA, where he'd work with the likes of Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Ric Flair is very much of the same mould, work off the fly. Randy Savage, for as good of a wrestler as he was, and he was phenomenal, he wrote down the match, basically the way that I just done it there.
Oh, like point by point.
Point by point.
We're going to do this.
We're
then
going to learn the
move,
script.
like choreographed.
Choreograph the whole thing. So whilst it works well, the presentation speaks for itself. Ricky says that's why I can't hold it in as high regard.
Because that's not his speciality, I guess.
Exactly. He was used. So he rated a match that he had with Ric Flair over the world title back in NWA Jim Crockett era as being a much better match than this. For that very reason, he didn't like how heavily scripted it was. So whilst he says, thank you, and it was a good match, to him it wasn't on the level of some of his others because of that reason. I
do wonder if when the matches are, like you said, like choreographed point for point like that, how different we'll never know, but how different it would be if it wasn't.
The issue that presents is that if everyone remembers exactly what they're supposed to do, great. As soon as a step's missed, you've thrown off the whole thing. Yes.
Well, even so I only know choreography from obviously a dancing point of view. And sometimes, like you just lose track of, you forget one part and then you're like, hold up, now I've forgotten that. I have lost track of everything else that is meant to follow. We've watched matches before where you can see where that one point is gone.
Yep.
And then that's when people start shouting and go, now, do it now, until the other person goes, oh, this is where we are.
Yep.
So, I don't know, just be interesting.
I think it hurts even like new performers because as a wrestler, you'd want to be able to adapt and think on your feet. So if you're then solely reliant upon play by play, blow by blow, you get into bad habits. And I feel like that is something they certainly need to step away from, because if at the end of the day, not being funny, if you're top at your craft, I should be able to say, right, you two have a match now. The end result, by the way, I want you to go 10 minutes. I want you to win by pin. The rest you decide, go. If you can't do that, there's a fundamental flaw with how you've been brought up and trained. Personally, I'm speaking from a person who's never done it myself.
Yeah, of course.
But logically, when you think about it, and I'm sure a lot of people probably agree with that aspect, and I thought it was very interesting, because I remember when I saw Ricky being interviewed on it and he said that, I was surprised and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And you do kind of look at the match a bit differently, knowing that
he wasn't kind of allowed to do what he would do.
Both men looked great in it. Yeah. Everything that was done was absolutely fine.
Yes.
So I guess all's well that ends well. But interesting standpoint.
That is interesting.
We get then one of the iconic images. So as Steamboat is being taken away on the motorised ring, he's got his arm round the animal, and he's got the title up and he's nodding his head. That for a while was used in a lot of retrospectives on the Intercontinental title.
Oh, okay.
So when they're saying, look at the history of this, they'll show him nodding, taking the...
Yeah. I've probably seen it, but just not soaked it in, if you know what I mean.
I'm hoping we'll see it on because they would have shown it quite heavily in the early to mid noughties.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure I'll see it at some point. And
when they're talking about the history.
Just like when we watched the one the other day, and I was like, I know that guy, the Atlas guy,
Tony Atlas.
Yeah. So I'm sure things like that will start to happen for me now.
Yep. Well, that's the benefit of doing this show in general. You get to kind of experience things that you otherwise wouldn't have, and you will find things that you like. Lord Alfred Hayes.
Oh, I'm so sad. I miss him.
Yeah, but if I said his name to you a year ago, you go, what?
Yeah.
But now he's like an icon.
Yeah, he is. He's my favourite guy.
Oh, yeah, I don't know when we'll see him again, to be fair.
Oh.
We can, to be fair, there are shows on the network which is released in the 80s, which he'll be all over, so we could do that. Now we go to Mean Gene interviewing Jake Roberts and Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Alice Cooper looking like that aunt who was going through a heavy metal phase.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
We see Honky Tonk Man attack Jake on the set of the Snake Pit, and Jake actually kind of lands a little bit on the Python, which again, I shouldn't be feeling bad for snakes because I don't like them.
No,
but I felt bad for Damien again. Not the worst I felt for a snake on the show, I must say.
Okay.
Jake says he'll get revenge. Honky Tonk Man talks so much he gets cut off mid-promo.
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah.
In the ring.
Okay.
Jake Roberts with Alice Cooper versus the Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart. He's here again.
Honestly, I'm so bored of this guy.
First line I've got here. This feels like the 12th time I've seen Jimmy Hart on this show. With Honky still on the apron, Jake attacks him from behind. Hip toss into the ring. Fine with that. Because Jake Roberts is, even though he's a babyface in this match, he got jumped by Honky Tonk Man. I'm going to return the favour. Bell hasn't started. I don't care.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely. Go. That my first comment though. Ooh. That bag looks very heavy. The snake bag.
You knew there was a snake in there, though.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay.
But when you're just like, I mean, I don't like it anyway. I know we've briefly talked about this before, but I was just like, oh, it looks heavy. I'm not here for it.
Right, heavy
I don't
bag.
want it.
Brilliant. Series of punches to the Honky Tonk Man and a big knee lift follows. Honky scrambles out of the ring and removes his jumpsuit, finally.
Yes, or he gets help getting undressed. That's like how I try and take off skinny jeans.
Well, I've offered many times to help you with that, but you've never taken me up on it. Jake helps him in this endeavour.
Yeah.
And throws him back into the ring. Honky goes straight out the other side. Again, much like the Randy thing. Didn't mind it.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind it. I did do a little Googling before this, but I actually can save it till the end. Just letting you know I've got some Googling in my back pocket.
What, on Honky Tonk Man?
A little, yeah.
About who he's related to, by any chance? Yeah.
The King.
Yeah, cousin.
Yeah, interesting that.
Yeah.
And then I went on to... Where are we? Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, yeah.
That's where I get most of my information from, because I kind of hope that's the most factual as opposed to all the other gossip rags that you read. And it said about Honky Tonk Man, because I don't know much about him at all, apart from the fact that he looks like Elvis.
Yep.
Intentionally. And it's been written about him that he's one of the greatest villains to ever grace a professional wrestling ring, apparently.
Is that what Wikipedia said?
Yeah.
No.
I'll be honest, I didn't know if I agreed with it or not, because I don't know him.
He's a good
so I thought
heel.
I'd say it and see where you go. And then, I don't know if this is about him. It must be. Held the record for the longest reigning Intercontinental champ at 453 days until Gunther knocked him off.
Correct.
Lovely. I'm very glad that was correct.
Yeah, he was. He held it for a long time. He was dethroned by the Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam.
Okay.
And he used to come out and have like a honkometer, which would see how long he'd been the champion for.
Oh, okay.
And when Santino Marella was the Intercontinental champion, he introduced his own honkometer because he was trying to go and break the record. And I believe it was at a Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday.
Ooh, okay.
They had a fan-voted match where Honky Tonk Man was one of the opponents that could go up against Santino Marella. Oh. And he just about won the vote. So Santino had a match with Honky Tonk Man at like I said, Cyber Sunday or whatever the show was for the IC title.
That's hilarious.
So it's a theme that's gone for a while.
Okay.
And I think it was important that WWE gave a different person the Intercontinental title for that long, because Honky Tonk Man was fine, great in his era, but it's not one that ages well, and it sounds a bit stupid, doesn't it, in hindsight?
Well, yeah.
So, and Gunther was a very, very valid and worthwhile person to break that record.
Absolutely. And then, my next comment is just about what they're wearing.
Go for it.
Just saying I really like, once he finally gets his Elvis suit on, I actually really liked his gear.
Yeah.
Really nice. Nice contrast between the two of them. Yeah, with guitars on it.
Yep.
I like it. Here for it.
Roberts body slams him on the mat. Mm-hmm. Back in the ring now, and Honky gets the knee up on a corner charge.
Yes.
Kicks to the ribs by Honky, but Roberts fires back and hits a short arm clothesline. So short arm clothesline is where you're holding the other arm and you pull the guy towards you.
Yes.
And hit them. We see Damien moving in the bag.
Oh, I don't like that. Do not like that whatsoever.
And Roberts looks for the DDT, but Honky rolls out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this, I think, is a worthwhile point noting about Jake Roberts. So,
okay.
I mentioned before to you how he was the creator and the master of the DDT.
Yes.
That move now is hit all over the place, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It never ends a match, really. No. Jake Roberts protected his move so well when he was an active in-ring performer, that if he wasn't going to win a match, he never hit the DDT.
Really?
He only hit the DDT if he was winning that match.
Oh, I see.
Which is brilliant.
Now you've told me that. Any match I see when he hits it.
Okay, let's say there might be exceptions out there. Okay. But I believe that is the case. Okay. And I think that's brilliant.
Fair enough.
Because it's called a finisher. It's supposed to finish.
Well, yeah.
Now it's a different age of wrestling. You see 14 kickouts from F5s and Superman punches, etc., etc. But I think that's a brilliant way to protect the move. Mm-hmm. And I think Jake Roberts deserves credit for that again.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the floor, Honky sends Jake into the post and he crashes into the guardrail.
Yep.
Alice Cooper, all 5 pounds of him, helps Roberts up as Honky shakes, rattles and rolls in the ring.
Doesn't he?
Big Knee sends Roberts back to the floor. Cooper helps once more. Crowd chant for Jake as he is body slammed back into the ring. Mm-hmm. Or back in the ring, not back into the ring. Second rope forearm connects from Honky. Roberts is taking strikes and misses wildly with one of his own. Jake backdrops Honky, who is looking for the shake, rattle and roll neck breaker.
At this point, they've mentioned it so many times that I just want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a swinging neck breaker. We did see it, really. Don Morocco hit one at the beginning of the show.
True.
Honky from the second perch, nails right hand. Oh, sorry, nails right hand, so the 1, 2...
Yes.
There's not really a heel spot to do,
No.
so... Odd, but it gives Jake the opportunity to hit reverse atomic drop.
Of course.
And the crowd, I don't know if you heard what they were chanting.
No, go for it.
DDT.
Oh, yeah.
DDT.
Mm-hmm.
Roberts fires back, and Honky begs off on his knees with the bag just behind him. Another back body drop. Honky seesaws between the ropes.
I quite like that.
From right hands, I knew you would.
That's
Jake
right up my street, that is.
Jake wants the DDT, but Hart grabs his ankle.
Oh, fuck off.
Honky capitalises and puts his feet on the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically takes him... Well, he doesn't put his feet on the ropes, actually, does he? He kind of tackles him down, pins him, and holds the top rope. I don't know how holding the top rope gives you leverage.
Yeah, I don't know, because even pulling it down, that rope's just going to...
The rope's actually pulling you away.
But
the only thing I can think of is that if Jake did try and kick off, because he's holding the ropes, he's not going anywhere.
I don't know.
So logically it didn't make much sense, but that's enough, and Honky Tonk Man gets the win over Jake.
Of course he does, because
3.
the crowd don't want that.
Yep.
The crowd do not want that, but that's not it.
No, it's not. Very much not. So Roberts nearly takes Honky's head off with a missed guitar shot. That might have killed him.
Yes.
Alice Cooper and then Jimmy Hart, looking like two meth heads about to fight over a score.
This was awful. Funny, but awful.
Just these two
waifs.
Spindly little bastards.
A blast of, wind in there, they'd have both blown away.
Yeah. I reckon I could pick Alice Cooper up by the crotch like that without even thinking about it. Why I've gone for the crotch,
I don't know.
We've got more questions to ask. That's a me thing. But there's just nothing of the man.
Mm-hmm.
Even the commentator said, "Oh, he looks like he's been spending time in the gym." And like, not really.
Yeah. Well, even when he picks up the bag, he really fucking struggles to pick up that bag.
That snake weighs more than him.
Yes,
I'll be willing to bet
for
that.
sure.
So yeah, they lift the bag. Alice Cooper's taunting Jimmy Hart with the snake the whole time.
Yeah.
And then Jake goes, "That's not how you fucking do it."
Exactly. You see him grab it
and throws the snake,
launches it at him,
and then the snake's kind of upside down, then rights itself on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is another bit where I felt sad for the snake, is as he's being, I think the snake's been fucking medicated on something mad here.
Yeah, it must be.
Because as the snake's been carried out, he's like being held, like normally you see them with their head upright, don't you? Jake's holding him with his head like that, and the snake's just like, and it almost looks like he's got blood there. I could be wrong, might be seeing
I don't know.
But I just remember thinking, that is not right.
No, it's a bit odd. And I did a little age check as well. Just because, why not? Honky Tonk Man was 34 here.
Tough paper round.
34.
Tough paper round
Jake
for your
the
boy.
Snake, 32.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, I work in maths, as you know. Am I good at it? Probably not. Did I use a calculator? Absolutely yes. And I had to do this 3 times because I was like, why does everyone look so old in their 30s?
What? Well, you've got some real young whippersnappers on here. Like on this show, Hogan's 33.
Yeah, but they all look like they're in their 50s.
King Kong Bundy's 30.
It looks like they're in their 50s. Like, it's really confusing. And I know it's back in the day, do you know what I mean? Like, people in 30 years will look at us at 30 and go, fuck me, look at them. But
do you know how old Andre was?
Oh, I don't even know.
40.
40? Okay. Believable. That's fine. Not mad at that. It's these fuckers that are in their 30s that... I think it's the hair, everything of that era just ages people.
But we were surprised with Triple H and Undertaker.
Oh, for sure.
And that was far more recent.
Well, not so much Triple H. It's the Undertaker was the one that was...
Yeah, that was upsetting.
Boggling.
We now see Howard Finkel introduce Mean Gene.
Yes.
Mean Gene lies and gives the number that WWE still stick to for this day.
I see, yes.
Yeah, like
so there's the record's been broken last
they've added like 14
AC/DC or something, and then
14,000 people extra they claimed were there.
Oh dear.
Co-main event time, and we get one of our staples of WrestleMania watching.
Of course we do. Although I'd paused by this point, I had to take a little breather, and I was like, oh, it's only 40 minutes left, and we've got 2 apparently big matches to come here.
No, 2 matches.
You never apparently
I thought that with 3 matches to go, I still had an hour and 15 left, and I was going, I don't know how they're going to drag this out.
I'm so used to... Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
It's interesting, actually, because, like I said, I've seen the show a few times, and even going into this part of the match, I was like, show, sorry.
Yeah.
How are they... How? And they do,
yeah,
to be fair, just about.
Do.
So, the penultimate match of the night is the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov with Slick versus the Killer Bees.
Honestly, I love them.
I know you do.
They're so good, but not like... I don't know who they are. The minute they were announced as the Killer Bees and they had them pants on, I'm in for it. That's fine.
Brian Blair and Jumping Jim Brunzell?
No, I mean, I did look them up to see if I could find out any stuff on them, but no. So much so that when I refer to them in commentary, it's a picture of a bee rather than their name. Oh,
wow. She just showed me her phone and she's literally just got bees there. Fortunately, I know to distinguish between the two. So
I don't.
B. Brian Blair is the one with the tash.
Okay.
Jumping Jim Brunzell is the one that looks like a bitch.
Okay.
Just the really happy, goofy... Yeah.
If I paid more attention, I'd be able to go tash, no tash. But also, there's so much going on.
We're not playing a game of Guess Who here.
Do they wear a beret?
Have they got glasses? Sunglasses. So Slick's still looking torn up as shit.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't have a spare pair of threads for the night.
Why would you not get changed?
Maybe because, I thought this at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why didn't he get changed? I thought, well, it's not a time issue. He could have got changed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, actually, maybe he thought he was going to get the shit kicked out of him again. He didn't want to lose another suit. So he thought, I'll come out in the same gear.
What's the point?
Yeah. No, exactly. And then I was like, yeah, fair enough.
It's like when you do some form of like physical activity and you're like, oh, I need to have a shower. You're like, oh, I'm doing that later. There's no point doing that yet because I'm going to get sweaty again. I do this.
Yes. And I was like, oh, I need to do my weights and stuff. And I'll go, oh, but I'll have a shower this morning. No.
Yeah.
Weights and then shower later for sure. Volkov sings, and here we see Hacksaw Jim Duggan come sprinting down to clear house with his 2x4. Yeah. You know who Hacksaw Jim Duggan is, don't you?
I do, but... I'm not going to just carry on without me, it's fine.
Okay, fine. The bell rings, and the heels blindside the bees.
Yeah.
Corner whips reverse, and now the bees offload in the corners themselves. The heels do a do-si-do off another whip, but the bees stay in control.
Because that's logical.
Yeah. Volkov is hit to the floor. By the way, don't you just think he's got a lovely timbre in his voice for the national anthem?
Oh, of course.
Just the
vibrato.
Yeah, brilliant. Atomic drop by Blair to Sheik sees him walk into a bell ringer, I put, because it's like you clap behind their head, but your
Yes, I didn't know how to... It's like the leg thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like slapping your arms together.
Yeah, so I called it a bell ringer.
Yeah.
By Brunzell. Odd move, that. Double combo, I'm ordering a burger here. Double back elbows to Sheiky as Brunzell is the legal man. Quick tags by the bees, and they hit a double hip toss.
Nice.
Quick tags continue as they work over the Sheik's arm. Beautiful drop kick by Blair on Volkov, who interferes. Heels now in charge, and a kitchen sink by Volkov slows Brunzell. Knee to the stomach. Kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Shoulder tackle by Sheik gets 2. Brunzell leaps into a bear hug, and I was like, uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Because bear hug is a theme for later on in the night. Brunzell leaps into a bear hug, but does manage to smack his way free. As in, not the drugs. Sheik back in, and a gut wrench suplex gets 2.
Nice, I like that.
Yep. Showing his amateur pedigree.
Absolutely.
Not Triple H's finisher either.
Yep.
Standard suplex gets 2 as well.
Again, nice.
Yep. Brunzell connects with a high knee, but the ref misses the following tag.
I'm so sorry. I wish you could see what I've got here.
Please tell me.
It says, high knee by one, picture of a bee. Ready to tag the other, picture of a bee.
Love that.
But the ref doesn't see.
It's
just what I have to do.
Double back elbows drop Brunzell as Blair pleads his case. Duggan then starts chasing Slick. Then he starts chasing Volkov on the floor. Volkov slides into the ring to escape. Jim follows. As he enters the ring, he pauses.
He does, doesn't he?
He goes, oh? Mm-hmm. Sees the Sheik has got his camel clutch locked in.
Yeah.
Being the goofy fuckwit he is, he swings the 2x4 over Sheik's back, causing a DQ.
Boo. Follows. But not at the same time, because it's like... this one was hard to say my little crowd reaction, because I think it's annoying, it's a DQ, but the crowd love it because it's the patriotic thing again, isn't it?
Yep.
It annoyed me, I think, more than anyone else.
Yeah, the Hacksaw character really could have probably gone further in WWF at the time, given how patriotism was number one. And let's be fair, he wasn't like a worse wrestler than Hogan.
No.
So maybe something they could have... I'm sure there's a reason they didn't try and push him any further.
So I did a little Googling.
Yeah.
And it said that apparently, again, all off Google, so we go by that. It's not right or wrong. It says that apparently Duggan and Iron Sheik got arrested together for DUIs. They released Duggan from the company, but immediately rehired him and put him into lower spots on the roster, and he was never allowed to go higher than a certain level because of it.
True story.
And you're impressed I Googled that, found that out.
Do you know what the biggest issue of that was, though?
What's that?
It wasn't so much even the fact that they were found under the influence driving, it was that heels and faces were travelling together.
I was going to say, having watched this match as well, it would be a bit like, it's a bit of character break there.
It was a big no-no. You never did that.
Oh, really?
You only travelled...
So they weren't actually allowed.
To the point where, I believe, I heard a story where they were at a hotel late on and they didn't think anyone was going to be there or anyone was going to spot them. There were some faces and heels drinking at the bar with each other. A fan spotted them, and as soon as they saw the fan had spotted them, they started brawling to keep up kayfabe.
Speaking of which, let's bring this into current day briefly.
Go on then.
I did see on Instagram, and I've seen actually a couple of news stories about it since, that Rey Mysterio and his lovely son Dom were spotted out having a nice father-son dinner together.
How dare they?
Had their photos taken with fans.
Fire them
all
both.
Very happy, and I thought, I don't mind, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I'm 35 years old, I don't care. But also I thought, oh, okay. Are they going to try and spin this? Probably not. But I was like, oh, it's quite nice actually.
I think it's a different
I thought it was quite
now.
Nice.
It's a different animal now. I think it's absolutely fine. But back then, not a chance.
We're all old enough to know, what's real and what's not these days. Well, yeah, true. But I thought it was quite nice.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. What would you score this match?
What would I score this match? 1 point... 2. 1. No. 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Oh. I was like, is she dancing around here? I'm going to get this, isn't she? 1.5 was the score. Okay. I think 1.5, 1.
Fine.
Yeah, not...
I felt a bit bad for the bees, though, because effectively they were just used to fill the beginning part of that match until what happened. Yeah, basically. And I was like, it's a bit of a shame because they worked nicely. Yeah, because Sheik and Volkov weren't exactly the most mobile of opponents. No. They're very... I mean, we've seen it in literally every WrestleMania, those two. Yes, every. Actually, in the second one, Sheik was in the Battle Royal and Volkov was in a singles match, wasn't he? Yes. But in the first WrestleMania, we saw a very similar thing. They had their role. Killer Bees were an up-and-coming team. Right. I don't think they actually ever became champions, tag team champions, but they had potential. Okay. I know Jim Brunzell's background. He was in the AWA for a long time with Vern Gagne. I think he was a tag team with Vern's son. I don't remember the name of the tag team, nor do I care, to be honest. But they had upside for sure, especially when you look at the other tag teams that were around at the time, like the Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation. They could have had some good matches, and I think they did have some good matches. Okay. But never got to that level. We now see, actually just before that, Hacksaw gets a USA chant going, and thankfully this one is done. Yay. Gene interviews Andre, so it's back to that same clip, I think. They're just playing the second part of the footage. And Andre says, "It won't take long for me to return as the champion with a belt around my waist." I'm sorry. You're not getting that? That's more Zoidberg. Dr. Zoidberg. Yeah, I heard it. But that is... if I could go deeper... It's that guttural voice, isn't it? But it's not raspy, it's like... Yeah. But he says he could get it round his waist. Chance to be a fine thing, mate. Okay. And there's around your leg, maybe. Around your arm. Yeah. So Heenan says he can't wait to be managing the champion. We then see a history of the relationship between Hulk and Andre, and most of that is kind of covered off in that monologue that I said at the front. Yeah. We then go for a Hogan promo. Mm-hmm. If this man hasn't done a line of cocaine before this interview, I will be stunned. He's glowing red. Oh, yeah. His head's caving in on itself. He's sweating. Yeah. He's travelling at like 500 miles an hour. Like, it's ridiculous. Hogan says the world will shake when he slams the Giant and leaves still as the champion. Mm-hmm. That's all I could get from that. And then he does the pose and then walks off the screen and just,
Bob Uecker is then introduced as the special ring announcer.
Who we've heard in our ears for the last 2 hours.
Whilst they're doing that, Jesse takes the time on commentary to say hi to his kids at home.
Yes, he does. Yep. I like that. It's a touch.
Mary Hart is the special timekeeper for the main event. She's paraded around the ring with Bob Uecker.
Yeah.
And now, Holly, it is time for the main event.
Thank God.
Of the evening.
Yay.
Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant with Bobby Heenan for the WWF title.
Yeah.
Before the monologue was sent to you, did you know this was a match
No,
that took place?
I knew nothing about what in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No.
So you were that
I know
person.
they have a match at some point. I just didn't know it was now.
Fair enough. There's a few moments in here that are like iconic.
Are there?
Yeah. So one, it starts off. So it's Andre and Heenan are getting pelted with garbage.
I literally have just that's my first note. They're getting booed and stuff thrown at them as well. And this is the first time I think for me seeing Andre getting booed. Yep. Like because he's been a face for so long.
Yeah, basically everywhere Andre went, apart from in the very early part of his career, he was a face because he was an attraction. People wanted to see him, wanted to support him. So more often than not, he was a face. So this was...
Yeah.
But it shows, and this gives credit not only to someone who's going up against Hulk, because you're going to get booed anyway at this point.
Right.
How good Bobby Heenan was as a manager. They just knew by Andre aligning with Heenan.
Yeah, true. It's going to change perception straight away.
Elevated it massively. Mm-hmm. So they're absolutely pelted with garbage.
Absolutely.
And a few hit them in the head. They must have some pictures there.
Yeah.
Because there was about 4 bits of crap that hit both of them in the head.
Yeah.
Imagine...
And they don't react to it at all, whereas I'd be fucking livid.
One hits Heenan in the head and he must think it might still be in his head because he does a little hair flick. And Andre's waving and notices Heenan isn't. I'm pretty sure he says to him, "Wave."
Oh, yeah.
Like that. And then Heenan waves and goes, "Why am I waving?" Yeah, did you spot that?
Yeah.
There's a way where he waved it off. Idiot. No.
Yeah, it's funny.
I enjoyed it. And then we get Hulk comes out.
This is my favourite part of the night, I'll be honest. The
crowd
music.
goes mental.
I'm there.
And I don't know if you noticed that Jesse Ventura on commentary rattled off both men's measurements.
Yes.
Which, whether true or not, I quite liked. It made it feel like a big-time main event.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was talking about their height as well, and I was like, oh, and I thought, shall I do it? No, I don't care. And I thought, it doesn't matter.
So they lie.
It doesn't matter how tall people are against Andre to me. It's just irrelevant.
So this is an unexpected moment for storytelling. So Andre was billed here as 7'5". Oftentimes he was billed like 7'2", 7'3", 4'5". It was in that range. All of those are lies.
Yes.
They wanted to be able to claim that he was the largest man in all of sports, which wouldn't be too much difficult to imagine doing other than NBA.
Of course.
There was Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain was taller than Andre. There's a picture where they're standing next to each other and Wilt is clearly just taller than him. But I think Wilt was 7'2" of that era, so they had to bill Andre as over that to make him seem like he was the taller athlete. And that was the only time they were seen next to each other, so you couldn't really argue it. But Andre was legitimately, we think, about 7 foot.
Yeah.
So we think that was true.
But Hulk's not 6'8" though, is he?
He's 6'7", 6'8". He's
really?
He's a tall lad.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He was tall, but I didn't realise he was that tall.
Yeah, he kind of shrinks down a little bit in his...
Well, as you do get older,
you do so I think
smaller.
He's probably like, if I'm thinking now, he's probably 6'4".
Right,
I would imagine, but I think at the time he was a tall...
Okay,
yeah.
Fair.
And when you see him standing next to Andre, if you think if Andre is 7 foot...
Yeah, I suppose he's not that far off, is he?
4 inches maybe seems about fair.
How tall then is... Sorry, you might not know, but Bundy? Because I was looking at
6'4".
WrestleMania and I was like, the only people I'm pretty sure we've seen him... No, that's not apart from the first one. The only people I've seen him one-on-one with is big people, so it's hard for me to believe that he was 6'8". But
yeah, I think Bundy's 6'4".
Okay, cool.
Shawn Michaels isn't. So I think Shawn Michaels is about 6 foot.
Really?
I think so.
God, see, in my head he's 5 foot something.
I think he's 6 foot anyway.
Fair.
Might be 5'11", but
won't knock him.
Yeah. This is the moment. So one of the iconic moments that I was telling you about is where Andre's standing placidly in the middle of the ring, and Hogan is shaking with rage, walking up to him slowly.
Oh yes, okay, that I have definitely
You've seen that, because that used to be in the Not Then Now Forever, but whatever the equivalent was beforehand, it was Hogan walking up to Andre.
Yes,
that is the clip they've
that.
taken that from.
And to be fair, I did in my head, I thought, how is this match going to go? And then I was like, oh, it's fine. They haven't even touched each other yet, and it's already been going for about 10 minutes.
And also, there was about 15 minutes left or 12 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly.
Andre shoves Hogan, who returns with a shove of his own.
Of course.
That worried me because I know we saw how off balance Andre was at WrestleMania 1.
Yes.
So when he shoved him, and Andre legitimately for a second, I think, oh God, because if you go down there,
then it's done.
it's hard to recover from. Hulk blocks a right hand and throws a few of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan goes for the slam, but he just can't lift Andre, who collapses on him, and this is very close.
Is this not a 3?
It is.
I thought it was a 3.
I think Hogan does just edge out underneath beforehand, but from the ref's perspective, I don't think he would have seen that.
No.
So Andre has his massive 3 sausages up, saying that that's the 3.
Pretty much, he is right.
And I think he's kind of there, paralysed, like, oh God, have I won this? Because that would have been, concerning for sure. But no, they carry on. What is good, though, is that we actually hear Heenan shouting on the outside, going, that was a 3.
Yes.
That was a 3. And so he should be shouting that. Whether that is supposed to be the outcome or not, I agree.
Yeah, it's what you'd expect a manager to be doing anyway.
100%. Andre with a big clubbing blow to Hogan's back.
Yeah.
The Giant with a knee to the head. And it's one where he puts his head against his knee and then stamps the floor. Yeah. But I don't know how to describe that without writing a whole line for it. After that, Hogan then gets thrown with a body slam by the Giant, which is actually impressive.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because you still have to be able to hold him, but then it was to throw him off. So I was like, oh, you do have power there. You're not just a big frame.
No.
Because I feel like when you're like a certain size, not to belittle Andre the Giant, 'cause of course I'm not trying to do that. I would expect anyone of that size to be able to pick up someone of Hogan's size.
Yeah, you just kind of assume it because someone's big. They've got the strength that goes with the height, don't you?
Which isn't always the case.
And is this the one where he slams him and then just stands there and goes, get up?
Yeah.
Get up. And I knew this was going to be a slow-paced match anyway. I've grown accustomed to expect if Andre is in a match, it's obviously not going to be a fast pace, which it wouldn't be, I think, for anybody of that size, really. But I was prepared, so I was like, not mad about it. It's okay. We'll give Hogan his time to get up.
Look at you.
I'm being nice.
But this is what you didn't think you had in your locker.
What, being nice? No, I didn't.
No.
No, you're right. I didn't.
But you didn't think you'd be able to kind of adapt to it.
I was very, surprised myself.
That's what I think.
Maybe this is what happens when I watch them sober. Maybe I shouldn't drink when I watch them.
I don't know. You've been pretty unfair on some people in this card so far.
Oh dear.
So after the so I think I missed a bit here.
After the slam.
So body slam. So he throws a second one follows, but the first one is the one I noticed he threw him on.
Yes.
Andre then walks over the Hulkster's back.
I like that.
I did.
It's effective but minimal effort. But
this bit,
it would frickin' hurt.
This bit looked great. Andre picks him up by the pants.
Yes, absolutely.
He's like, "You come with me," straight to your feet.
And this is so slow paced, but the crowd is fricking loving it.
The crowd do this a massive
which again
favour.
Is for me, I think also really helped.
2 corner whips. Now Hogan is crushed in the corner as Andre makes the mating call of an amorous Wookiee. Do you hear it?
Yeah, it did make me laugh. It's like Wookiee, yeah.
Yeah, and then just headbutts him.
Yeah, it just made me think of the story as well you told me ages ago.
Of him farting on Jake Roberts.
It just made me smile.
Yeah, I think of that every time as well since I heard that story. Hogan dodges a corner attack and throws big rights and a running elbow.
Yeah.
Andre takes the turnbuckle about 10 times.
Oh, of course.
Big boot by Andre stops Hogan in his tracks. So, in the corner, did you see how far Andre had to lean back to get his leg up that high? We saw him in the match, the Body Slam challenge with John Studd, where he could barely kick him in the calf. So when I saw that, I went, Andre, you've done well to do that,
to get your leg up that high.
That's the only time I'm going to compliment you on getting your leg that high, as we'll see later in this match. But it stops Hogan in his tracks.
Yeah, have a little rest here.
Huge chop, and oh God,
it sounds...
I forgot about this bear hug.
I mean, okay, so before we get there, because we know how I feel about this, but the chop sounds lovely.
Well, it would, yeah. His hand's the size of a dinner plate.
Exactly, it sounds so good into the worst part of the match.
And as soon as he put the bear hug on, I don't know how, Holly, I forgot. Yeah. And as soon as he did it, I went, oh God, no.
Because it's not even a bear hug.
No, he's hugging it.
It's just a hug. There's no pressure being applied here.
No.
Hulk is doing 99% of the work
Hogan's doing very well on the selling front.
Isn't he just?
But the bear hug, as much as I hated it from a watching perspective, I had to make no notes. It was great. It gave me a break. Yeah. It basically put me in a bear hug.
It does give you a little rest.
But it goes on
and on
and on
and on.
And on.
I did say, "Oh, are we going to see another asleep, awake?" And then I put, no, because Hulk's starting to shake, so we're fine.
Brilliant. He's starting to shake like a shitting dog. After an eternity, Hogan punches his way free.
Of course.
He charges twice, but Andre just won't go down. Andre then drops Hogan with a chop when he runs at him again.
Mm-hmm.
Andre goes for a big boot, but let's be fair, this is a pecker kick.
Yeah.
From the Giant, sends Hogan to the floor. Andre follows and hits a chop. Andre then misses with a headbutt and hits the ring post.
Lovely. Great camera angle.
Yes.
Very good.
He did very well because he never came anywhere near it.
No, but the camera does them right here.
Then Hogan starts to peel back the blue mats.
Yeah, I don't know if something was something meant to happen here more than what does happen. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
So what happened was done badly, but it was meant to happen.
Okay, cool.
So Hogan pulls the mat off and he's going for a pile drive. He's going to pile drive the Giant onto the concrete.
Yeah, all right.
Andre does what he's supposed to. Backdrop out, and this is when you realise that Andre is definitely not the form that he used to be back in the day.
No.
Because he is visibly struggling trying to lift Hogan to get him up and over.
Yeah.
And Hogan falls so slowly, he doesn't really even hit the concrete, and even the crowd don't know what to do with that. Because they don't go boo, they kind of...
They kind of... If you can kind of audibly hear a "we'll let it off because we understand" type noise.
Yeah, because Andre was in bad shape.
Exactly.
I mean, when we think about it as well, I think it was in 6 years' time he was dead.
God.
From here, so the wheels fell off rapidly for poor old Andre. So he looks, I've kind of explained that little spot there. Said it was just very uncomfortable watching him lethargically lift him up.
Yeah.
Back in the ring, and Andre misses a boot before falling awkwardly off a Hogan clothesline. What saved that moment though was Bobby Heenan's work at ringside there.
Yeah.
He was perfect in this match. He didn't really do anything other than the fact that when Andre fell towards him and his head was on the rope, Bobby couldn't believe that Andre had gone off his feet, ran over and was patting him on the face like, kind of, get up, oh no, you get up, this hasn't hurt you. Saved the moment. After Hogan clotheslines him, the Giant then gets body slammed. That's the moment that you see again and again and again in the clips. Yeah. And they're saying, no one has ever body slammed the Giant. Nobody's ever done it. I've got a story for you in a minute.
Okay.
We then see a running leg drop, because let's be fair, Andre's not getting up for a big boot.
No.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
So, before we go into the aftermatch stuff...
Oh, okay.
The story.
Oh, okay, story time.
So they were making it out that Hogan was the first person to ever body slam Andre the Giant.
Okay. No.
So, there's a list of people that did it. The first one that ever did it was Strong Kobayashi in 1972 in Japan. Other people that included it before this was Antonio Inoki, Stan Hansen, Ricky Choshu, the Wild Samoans, Harley Race. Even Hogan had body slammed Andre the Giant before this one instance.
See.
The benefit they have is because you couldn't get away with that in modern day media coverage.
Because you just go on the internet and
You'd see it.
Mm-hmm.
But what Andre did was he would do that to people that he showed as a sign of respect. He trusted them.
Okay.
But it was always when he was leaving a territory or doing his retirement tour.
Oh, okay.
So Andre's contract facilitated him to be able to go and do shows in other companies around the country and the world.
Yes.
And when he liked someone and when he was leaving, he would do that as a shine, like I said, to show them respect. Nice little touch, but far from the first person to body slam him.
Okay.
First person to do it on this stage.
Yes.
For sure. And the body slam, not awful, but it's good enough that Andre goes over properly. It's not like he's been picked up and just kind of dropped. So it worked quite well. Second story.
Oh, gosh.
And how true this is, I don't know, but I actually feel like it is. Hogan, being interviewed about this, said he was genuinely scared going into this match because he didn't know if on that stage Andre was just suddenly going to not play ball.
Oh, was that a possibility?
Who knows?
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Like I said, I'm going to take the story at face value. Whilst a lot of what Hogan says is just riddled with flaws and logic gaps and etc. On this one, I kind of understood because, he could have Hogan could have got there and Andre just not done anything for him, and then where does that leave them at that point? But the infamous story is that they made it sound like, at least in this version of events, that they didn't know the body slam was going to happen in the match. That I don't believe. I think that was always scheduled to happen. When it comes time to it, Hogan was still unsure that Andre was going to go along, and then Andre just apparently in that moment said, "Slam me, boss," and that's when Hogan then slammed him. So Hogan was concerned that Andre was going to not play ball, and they said you can't do anything with Andre if he doesn't want to have it done to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were my two little stories that were linked to this main event.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Hogan doing the usual pose down routine.
Perfect, of course. Crowd.
At the age of 33.
Love it.
Crowd are eating it up.
Uh-huh.
And then we get one of my favourite images from the event.
Mm-hmm.
As they're going away on the motorised ring. Heenan the whole time.
Oh yeah, he's got his head in his hands when they're
doesn't
being
look
pelted.
Up, they're being pelted, and it's just a great image.
Yeah.
Really, really good image of that event. That's the main event done. So what would you score the main event? This is the one I strongly disagree with.
This one's really hard because as a match, not a lot really happens.
Fine.
So as a match, it would be really low. But then when you add in crowd and what it would go higher. But if I'm just doing it solely based on if I saw two people now do a match like this, it would be a push at a 2. A push.
I think if you're looking at the match as a match, I think 1 star's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a bit spiteful by Dave, if I'm being honest, -4.
Oh.
I don't think that's fair.
Oh, see, I don't understand I can't do minuses.
The -5 for the boxing match with Roddy Piper and Mr. T, fully agree with.
Mm-hmm.
The match for this wasn't great. The atmosphere was fantastic. They did what they could with what they had.
Exactly.
The bear hug was the only really bad moment. And Andre doing the unintentional dick kick.
Yeah.
The rest of it, for what it was, is fine. I don't have an issue with it. But at the same time, I'm aware it's not a good match.
No.
So if you said to me 1 star, I'd go, okay, fine.
Yeah.
-4 just seems a bit spiteful. So I guess, Holly, now the time has come.
Oh.
What is your overall take on this show, and what would you grade it out of 10?
When that match finished, I did get back onto Google, because they kept mentioning how long Hulk had been champ for.
Yes.
And we know I really enjoy a really freaking long title reign, so I just gave it a Google. And 1,474 days.
I think that was very much of its era, though.
Yes.
Like a lengthy title reign, because with the ubiquitous nature now of media and how you can see everything at a moment's notice, a long title reign feels even longer. Whereas back then, they did WrestleMania was the only pay-per-view show they did a year. They did some big TV events, but it spread so thinly. I don't. So
you want to see that one person, but
it didn't wear down as much now. So I think that's why it was a product of its era.
It worked back then.
Yeah. Do I think the Reigns one's gone on for too long now? Yes, but I don't hate it as much as I probably should.
Yeah.
So Holly, I guess before we wrap this bad boy up,
okay,
we have to
sorry,
not punch
done
the
it
mic.
again.
We have to mention what we're going to be doing for the next show, or at least.
Well, I also didn't tell you what I'd rate this one out of 10 yet.
I've done it again.
Sorry, so that's because it's me. I threw it back off track by talking about how long you'd been champ for.
And to be fair, I do keep having coughing fits as well.
I'll let you off for being poorly.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So, what would you rate it out of 10?
I don't know. 5, 6. 6, I think, actually 6, because there were a lot of moments that I did actually really like. There was only 1 or 2 matches that I really were like, this is not for me. But, you know what, as a whole, I really think the crowd as well really swayed this one for me. Really did.
Yeah, I'd say under other circumstances, I'm thinking 4 or 5.
Yes.
But with the crowd, I think it pushes it to a 6 because it feels big.
Yes.
And as I mentioned in the monologue, I feel like this cemented WrestleMania as being a big event.
Yes, for sure.
Which is quite funny when you think about it, because they didn't really go back to a big stadium show for quite a while.
Okay.
Which we'll see as we go through March Through The Manias continue.
Yay.
So now, to segue correctly, I think we're going to allude to what we'll be doing for the next show. Is that right?
Okay. Yes, so I got a lovely message on Instagram, and I got the lovely message. It was directed to me, which brownie points awarded. Loved it. From a lady called Pominda. And she actually gave us a couple of suggestions, which is great.
Yep.
But the one that we're going to cover first is Judgment Day 2001. the build-up to the Stone Cold versus Undertaker match. So we're just going to do the whole pay-per-view.
Yep.
Probably do a little bit of scope on the little bit of, the build-up.
I tend to do that regardless. Exactly. So that falls
into
my
You do that for me,
wheelhouse.
so it's quite nice. And yeah, she's given some other suggestions, but actually we're going to keep those in the bank for timing nicely. So that is the next one on the docket.
Yeah, thank you very much for the message. It's been a while since we've had a show request as
I
well.
know.
And I'm hoping that will encourage other people to do it as well.
I love it.
Because it just points us in a direction. I mean, we might well cover the show at some point regardless, but it's nice to see the interaction. So thank you very much for the message. And I don't take a personal offence to the fact I wasn't included in the hi guys. It was a hi Holly message, but that's fine.
Instagram's my baby, it's fine.
Instagram is your baby.
Everything else is...
No, but it was nice to see. And to be honest, the way I read that was that they felt comfortable reaching out to you as being a fellow female. So
love it.
Fair enough.
Here for it.
But yeah, the other suggestion, we'll read the message in full next show. Mm-hmm. And the other show suggestion, I think, will time nicely after a certain event in the March Through The Manias series without giving it away.
For sure. So yeah, if anyone does have any recommendations, give Scott something to do. Not that he doesn't have anything to do already, but send him a nice personalised email at wintwicepod@gmail.com, because I have nothing to do with that.
No, you don't.
And then Insta, YouTube, TikTok are all wintwicepod. I've seen quite a few comments go up on videos recently, which is nice. I tend to not look until I've had the go-ahead from you that it's safe to look.
We've only had a couple of questions. Well, we've had a couple of spam messages, which is to be expected. But for the most part, the people in there, I don't have an issue with people disagreeing with what's being said as long as it's put forward.
I find it really interesting, but it just makes me nervous.
And any comments that I can go back on with something, I will go back on.
Yeah, but even if in a comment, if someone wants to shove a request in there, it'll get seen. Yeah, so absolutely. Go for it.
And again, YouTube is doing really well with attraction. We found a slight issue with our video uploads, and we think we realised what the issue there is. So I think we've hopefully sorted that now.
The we there, not including me, let's just be clear.
We being myself and editor Jamie, who will be revelling in his name being mentioned.
Way above my station.
Yeah, we lost Jamie last night to a lot of AI looking into, which is quite interesting. Gosh. So we'll see where that leads us. But I think it's more for the image side of things to help with thumbnails, etc. But anyway, lots of good things coming up.
Yep.
I don't think I've got anything else at this point. Right. So WrestleMania 3 in the books.
Done.
Better than WrestleMania 2?
Yes, apart from my guy's not there.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, WrestleMania 4 is shit. Brilliant. So that's the next time.
And I can't drink still. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay.
But we had a lovely time recording.
Yes, always.
Right. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Hopefully you had a wonderful time, and we'll tune in for the next episode. Take care, and we will see you then.
Bye.
Bye.